You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about movies, TV shows, video games and board games. I'm your host Anthony, or as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and today we got a really good episode for you guys. I have a bunch of guys with me that want to talk about video games, so we're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves to one another. So sir, who are you?
Hi, I'm John and I'm into PC games.
Hi, I'm Little G. I'm into a lot of games. I play a lot of Nintendo, PlayStation, and PC games as well.
My name's Gal. I'm into all type of games.
Hi, I'm Goku. I'm into almost every type of games, but I like the realistic ones.
Hi, I'm Kurj. I'm just into any game.
And thank you guys, I cannot thank you enough for coming in today and doing this episode. It means an awful lot to you coming here and supporting the podcast. So the topic of today's episode will be, what does it take to be a gamer? So what we're going to do is, as you've all introduced yourselves as being big gamers, we're going to go around the table and figure out why or how you got into games first. And then we're going to go into the topic a little bit more as to why or what it does take to be a gamer. So, John, how did you get into video games, mate?
Well, it was 1993 really when I started. I had a decent job, bit of money. I was in a magazine shop. I saw a magazine on a shelf to do with computer games, mainly PC. So I bought the magazine, had a read, and I've been hooked ever since. I went out and built my own PC and just started playing the games on it.
Yeah. Is that it?
No, I've got...
Carry on then, yeah. Keep going, mate. Keep going. We want to know. Everyone wants to know.
Well, since then I've built a few PCs. Oh dear! I've played hundreds.
We've only just started, guys. Come on.
And I've played hundreds of games. Some stick in your mind, even today. Some don't, though. You know what? You knew it was a good one when a few hours later would be gone by, and you'd think, "My God, has it only been? It's been like 4 or 5 hours," and you think it's only been an hour.
That's some good games that do that. Though.
Yeah, definitely.
Taken away by it, and
It's
you just think to
gross.
yourself, "Oh, it's only been an hour," when actually it was 2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. I started with flight sims. I'm always big into flight sims, aeroplanes and helicopters. Games like F01E02 and F16 Fighting Falcon by Microprose.
Yeah,
I loved Microprose. What a company! Made some fantastic games. Then a guy come along called Sid Meier, and he had a game called Civilization.
I know that game.
I know you.
I was
Big G, I know you like those games.
so into that game. That started like what they call the God games, and that got me into the God game genre. So I started with flight sims. I got into the God games through Civilization, Age of Empires, that kind of game. It was an instant hit with me. Sid couldn't make a bad game as far as I was concerned. And then not long after that, I came across a game by a new company called Blizzard. And that game was Diablo.
I honestly thought you were going to say World of Warcraft then, but
No. Diablo. And 25 years later, and I'm still playing that game. I love that game to bits.
and there's four's coming out soon.
Yeah, they're working on it right now.
Four's probably going to be next year.
And what
it's like Civilization. It spawned sequels that are still going
what console
strong.
is that coming out on?
I believe it's on all formats.
Not one specifically.
No.
PC.
Unless PC stands for personal console.
Of course. Hey, very nice. And then I'd always been interested in World War II. So then a company come along called Electronic Arts, and they brought out a World War II game called Medal of Honor. I was there. I was that soldier storming Normandy Beach. That got me into first-person shooters that I still play, those type of games today, 20 years later.
I have to say, the first time I played Medal of Honor was on PS2, the Frontline one.
I think in
was
them
it Medal of
days
Honor
it came out on everything.
Yeah, was it Airborne or Frontline? Frontline. No, it was Frontline.
Frontline was first, and Airborne was
came
later
after,
on, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got a story to tell about that later on.
Oh,
Yeah, well, that's what the podcast is for, mate.
Yeah.
Wait your turn.
And then around the same time as I was playing Medal of Honor, I discovered another game by Valve, and their offering was called Half-Life.
What a game.
Oh,
What a
my
game.
God.
That was
What
so
a
revolutionary when that
game.
came out.
I was hooked between Half-Life and Medal of Honor. That was first-person shooters for me. And that took over from flight sims. I don't really play flight sims anymore. Not saying I haven't got an interest in them. I just don't really play them anymore. But in them days, you didn't have YouTube. So, I used to go down the paper shop and get the magazine.
Magazines.
Like,
I miss those days.
And sometimes there'd be a
Comes
CD.
with a demo as well.
I was just about to say that. They used to come with a CD on the cover, and there'd be demos of some of the games. And every month I'd be down that shop and get the latest. So I had the latest demos of games. And then that's how you knew which game was going to be good. Because in the magazines, you just see the pictures. But with the disc, you were able to actually download the demo of the game and play it.
Yes, I remember
and
that.
It might only be like a half an hour or an hour or maybe a one or
they
two
did that
levels.
for like PlayStation, Sega Saturn and all that as well.
What was it? The Edge magazine, wasn't it?
You used to fork out quite a bit of money for that magazine, like 5, 6
PC
quid.
Gamer was a good one. So, like I say, I've played hundreds of games. Some I remember, some I don't remember. Some stick with me. Now with YouTube, I can reminisce on those games by watching someone else play them. I get enjoyment from playing these games. It takes me back to my youth. There is no age limit. There is no gap. Depending on the game, you can be anything. You can do anything you want. It's your game.
That was lovely.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good, John. Is there a specific game there you could go back and just relive the 90s just by playing it again?
For me to relive the 90s again, I'd have to go back probably to some of the early flight sim type games, because I haven't played a decent flight sim in a very long time.
I haven't said that. Isn't there a new flight simulator coming out soon for the Xbox or Xbox PC?
Yeah.
Would you be interested in giving that a go, or are you completely done with flight simulators now?
No, I'd give it a go.
I think.
Okay.
That new Star Wars game coming out, that might
Squadron.
I'd be well up for that. I know it's 5-player cross-platform. That is going to be mega.
Oh mate, that's going to be
amazing. Yeah. That's what helps now. It's the likes of Microsoft bringing cross-platform. So it's not a case of I only play on PC or I only play on an Xbox or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's the thing. It's for. I mean, gamers are. You're a gamer. You're not a PC gamer. You're not an Xbox gamer. Do you know what I mean?
Gamer.
You're a gamer.
That's explaining what the episode is about, really.
Yeah.
Crossplay is definitely the future.
Oh, definitely.
To bring the gamer community a bit
Most
more together,
definitely.
not just restricted to one specific.
It's like the old days when you used to have like a 56k modem, and you had what they called LAN parties. You took your little PC with the massive monitor round to your friend's house, and you plugged them all in together, and that was. Forget that.
Put it on silent. We're recording, damn it.
Watch. But of course, with multiplayer, you don't, with broadband and stuff, you don't have to do that anymore. It's much easier.
Go for it.
Yeah, so the earliest games when I started, I think everyone.
Sorry, who are you first?
Oh, okay, I thought I didn't introduce myself. I'm Little G, and how I got into gaming was through. I think the first ever game I played was the Sega Mega Drive, the Sonic game. I think everyone knows that. Yeah, but that wasn't how I actually got into it. That was the start of it, and I think when I first got my Game Boy Pocket, if everyone remembers that, I was
oh my god, yeah, man.
Since then, I've been hooked.
So did you have the original Game Boy at all, or just straight to Game Boy Pocket?
It was straight to Game Boy Pocket. I saw you used to have the old version. I never had that one, but when my birthday came, that's when the Game Boy Pocket came out. So that was my first own console, and since then I've been hooked on Nintendo and I was a big fan. Since then it was PlayStation, Nintendo, was it Xbox. I had all those consoles. Yeah, my favorite when I first got into first-person shooter, I think it was Time Splitters, and that's
nice.
That really
was that was PlayStation 2.
That was PlayStation 2. Yeah,
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, and that's when I think PlayStation 2. I had so many hours clocked onto that, and Time Splitters really done it for me. I think we're more into. Someone's okay.
Someone else is playing again.
Yeah, so I was more into multiplayer games. So that was one of my phases I went through playing Time Splitters. since then, I think later on, I'm also a PC gamer, as John mentioned. So how I got into you could do that all day. I love PC.
I love that.
I play a lot of different games, but PC, I started playing World of Warcraft, and that was a good, it's a Blizzard game, and I think John can appreciate how good Blizzard are as well in making their games.
No doubt.
I
mean, I used to be PC, but
yeah,
I just still, have nothing against Blizzard. They do some damn good games at the end of the day.
Yeah. It does. It's not even just World of Warcraft. They do StarCraft, Overwatch. They've done so many, and Diablo. Yes, John, that is one of my favorite games. But I've only got it into that when they started releasing it on the consoles. And yeah, I'll tell you that later on my top 5. You'll see if it is or not. But but yeah,
Wink, wink.
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's it. What was the question? Was what it takes to be a gamer at the end of the day. But I think if you love games, no matter what console it is on, if you love it and you got passion for what game you like, that's it.
If you love games,
Yeah.
you're a gamer.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless if it's PC, mobile, consoles, whatever. Yeah, you're a gamer at the end of the day. That's my position. Yeah.
Really? It's short but sweet. I was expecting a bit more, to be honest. Because you are pretty hardcore with games.
Oh, yeah. There is.
I was waiting for a bit more backstory. Like, I saved my pocket money up to get this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, if you want. We actually did do that. I mean, I used to. My brother's here as well. I used to sell stuff to make money to buy stuff, or even rent money from Blockbuster. If you guys know what Blockbuster is, so I used to, every day.
Yeah.
I used to sell
They used to rent out the consoles back in the day.
I used to sell my lunch, £1 lunch, because my lunch was so good. Yeah, I used to sell it, and I used to save 30 days. So was my brother, and every end of the month we'll buy a game, or even like the end of the week.
So
we'll rent a game.
you
That's
sold
dedication.
your pack lunch.
I sold my packed lunch.
So you would starve the whole day just to get a game, mate. That's
dedication.
That's dedication
That
to being
is-
a gamer.
it was
That's
done.
off to you, man.
that's I bet you was fasting that month as well.
Just £1
well,
will give Gaudi a console.
It was desperate times, but that's how much.
Just
I love.
£2 a month can
It
help
was
Gaudi
worth
get
it. All right, yeah, go on. But it was worth it. By the time you got the game,
That's
that
genius.
would last me for
How
a month
old were
or
you at the
two.
time doing that?
I was 12. So I was
Damn,
having
that
lunch
is
for a couple of
that
weeks.
is some smart.
Yeah.
He's just got this.
But yeah, I used
That
to
was
do,
clever.
Yeah, that was one of the hardcore stuff I used to do, but it was worth it. Like having lunch throughout the month. There was certain days I had to eat, but there was most of the time it was worth selling my stuff.
See, this is what I didn't get. So when you rented the console from Blockbusters,
Yeah.
so what were consoles then? £300, £400, if that? So
Probably not
what
even that
amazed me, right? So you paid a tenner to rent the PlayStation 1 for the weekend, but you had to put a £300 deposit on it. So you clearly had the money for it.
No. We rented.
No. That was what happened with Blockbusters. If you
okay.
rented the console, you had to put a deposit down in case you broke it or not. So, but you would have to give them that the same amount of money
of
to
actually-
buy it in order to rent it. In theory, so you kind of it didn't make any sense. But who knows? That was 90s for you. So yes.
True.
It's hardcore, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing all of you guys.
Man, I wish I was that smart as a kid to come up with stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's well cool.
I mean, at the time, I think everyone would say it was worth it. It was so worth it.
Of course it was.
It's all right. I mean, that's a game every month. I could barely get one a year if I went on.
I think one of you were going to mention that. I think there was a game we used to play. I think Crash Bandicoot. We didn't have a memory card.
Crash
And it
Bandicoot.
kept
That
us-
was it, man.
Yeah, we. I think our memory card crashed, and we were playing that game again and again to the same.
no.
But I think
I
Gold
remember
knows as well.
this.
Yeah, we were.
And
Was it not an official memory card then? That's why.
Oh, we had a lot of dodgy.
There was
ones.
no memory card at all.
There you go.
But we used to play every Sunday. We used to come back, and it used to freeze at the same point every time. It was Crash Bandicoot Warp 3. And we used to be like, oh my God. And we used to do it again every Sunday, every week. Because that's the only time we used to play it, like on the weekends.
So,
Yeah.
like really, because I remember I used to go to the gal's house when I was younger and stuff. That's how I knew, the guys who were here and stuff. And I remember that. And all we used to do is we used to watch Big G play the game, and we would sit there. It was like watching like a movie, and it would be like 7 hours into the game. We're coming to the end, and it crashed, and my heart broke. Like,
Oh,
literally
man.
1,000 pieces. So we did it again.
We do it again and again.
But this is
Just
it.
kept playing the same
No
overlap.
Over and over
No
again.
commitments back then. You
No
had the time to do
Yeah.
that.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
now that's not a
Bloody
thing
hell.
anymore, right? So, yeah.
Good times. Oh, God.
I think we can safely say you are a gamer, mate.
Yeah,
To give up your lunch and starve for the day
It was worth it.
in order to get a game.
Yeah,
that's-
it was worth it.
So what's the longest any of us have played a game? And I mean, lost in the zone, if you know what I mean.
Such a good question.
So I dedicate so much.
It doesn't matter what game or
I definitely
what,
spent when Gears of War 3 came out. The day it came out, I bought it after midnight, and I must have played it till midnight the next day. But then I had no kids and stuff. Then I had the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So because I'm such a big Gears fan.
Yeah.
That I remember when Gears 2 came out, I took a week off work to play that game.
Wow.
That's hard.
I remember playing a game called European Air War in the early days when I was in flight sims, and I played 13 hours straight.
Jesus.
No break,
Wow.
other than going to the loo and coming straight back to play it again, you know. And it was the only reason I knew it was because it was like night time, and I thought, bloody hell, it's got dark. I honestly thought I'd only been playing it for like maybe 2 or 3 hours because I knew it wasn't 5 minutes, but 13 hours. I thought, what the hell? But that's games for you, you know. You can get sucked into them. You're in this zone. So it doesn't matter what the game is or what the game's about. If you're obviously playing it because you're interested in it,
Exactly.
and if it's done right, which a lot of them are, you get sucked into that zone, and that's it. It doesn't matter. Everything else around you is just out of existence, basically. It's just you and that game on that screen, and either a mouse and a keyboard or a controller in your hand, and that's it.
Yeah. What do you need a mouse and keyboard for?
Your PC.
All right, so is that you, Daddy?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'll pass it.
The man who gave up his lunch for games.
Yes.
Hats off to you, sir.
What a man. What a man.
So, Big G, what's your story?
Go on.
Why
You're
are
the
you a
big
gamer?
brother.
And how did you get into games?
You're the big brother then, yeah?
Yeah. I'm Big G, or Gal, aka whatever. Yeah, but I wouldn't give him food for.
AKA Grey Fox.
Yeah.
Grey Fox, yeah.
Grey Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's hardcore, man. Giving up your food for.
Definitely.
Well, thing is, I gave him the idea to do that, but I didn't do it myself.
That's typical.
Yeah.
So, my story starts with the gaming. It was late 90s Mega Drive. It was the first actual console that we owned. And I think the games, I remember briefly, Sonic, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage. That was
Streets of Rage.
What a
That game has one of my favourite
What a
game
game.
soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
Going into that.
it's mind blowing in that game. Even now, you can still back.
And Streets of Rage 2. They both got amazing soundtracks. But those games aren't amazing, yeah.
Obviously, Streets of Rage. I'm not gonna lie, my mom was badass on that game. I could have completed. We could have completed.
The thing is, though, that those games were so easy to play.
Yeah.
Especially the Mega Drive with only
That's
3 buttons.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it was. So now you've got all these analog sticks,
triggers,
bumpers, triggers, all that stuff now.
So yeah, that, and then and obviously eventually to PlayStation 1. That was my
The definitive gamer console.
That defines me. That is me. You know, obviously we're still kids. Maybe John was probably the oldest out of us. We probably had a lot of money to buy. We were only restricted to playing weekends because Mum was strict. We can't play during the weekdays. Obviously study, blah blah blah.
Yep.
So kind of weekends, and like I said, we got to save here and there just to buy a game, which was only like 20 quid. But now is what is going. The games for PS5 is what, 70 quid now?
It's weird you say that, right? So do you remember when the N64 came out? So when the N64 came out, it had the launch titles of Mario 64, Pilot Wings, and Shadows of the Empire, right?
Oh, Pilot Wings, yeah.
So when those 3 had come out, I think a week or 2 after Turok had come out, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, I don't know if you remember that.
That was a good game.
So when that game came out, I kid you not, that was £70 back then. And this was 1996, 1997, because I wanted that game desperately. And everywhere for it was £70. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're going on about PlayStation 5's games costing this much.
I don't remember that.
I kid you not. I saved up my big time. I saved up nearly half a year to get a £70 game back then. So yeah,
Damn, man.
£70. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, half the time I would spend like after school evenings, just browsing Blockbuster or my local shop, New Age, into it, and just because you couldn't afford it, you'd just be like, "Oh man,
This is it, yeah.
Just go around browsing the old school games."
Your weekend was renting out and trying to crack it in the weekend, trying to finish the game of the weekend.
Exactly.
That's it.
I had a stack of those CDs off the magazines. I used to buy the magazines just so I could have the demos.
I was going to
because I couldn't afford to play some of the games. I had to save. So while I'm saving, I had these discs. I just played them and played them and played them.
Well, you said you just said you had a decent job back in the day.
Well, yeah, I did, but I couldn't afford to build a PC and buy the games. Buy 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, I wanted to touch up a point that you were talking about magazines, and now you got YouTube. Back in the day, like any games that come out, we will play it to the death because you need to know the source of information you'll get, like cheats or how to complete the game. You'll either get it on through magazines. But unless you don't have that magazine, you'll have to play it inside out.
So we're actually going to do an episode about cheats, so we can touch back on that another time. But
didn't have Google in them days.
But no, this is it. The magazine thing, that was your source of income, of information, shall I say?
That's it.
It's like as soon as you saw, a new Mario's coming out. Oh,
that was so thrilling. Going to the shop, oh my god, there's a new magazine.
And how many times did you go into that newsagent to hear the newsagent say, "If you're gonna read it, you gotta buy it"?
My local was all right.
That was only when he was getting the magazines from the top shelf.
Shh, don't tell everyone that.
So yeah, that you play the game inside out, like just to to find out every nook and cranny. But now it's you just go into YouTube and you just everything's there. Whereas back in the day, you know that game inside out. So obviously, so that was PlayStation era, and then obviously eventually, I moved on to PlayStation 2. I've never owned. I did not own an N64. I did manage to borrow it from mates, but after that
borrow with asterisk.
we managed to play it because I missed out on a lot of N64 games like Zeldas, and Mario's and stuff. But I did manage to play it through my friends and stuff, but I never actually owned it. That's hence why when you come to my top 5, you won't see any N64.
But this is the thing, because I'm one of those guys that had like a Super Nintendo, but my friend had a Mega Drive.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go to his to play Streets of Rage,
Same.
Sonic and whatnot, and he would come to mine to play Mario Kart and whatnot.
And then you'll be like, especially in the PlayStation era, you'll be like, oh my, I got cool PlayStation games. And then my friend would be like playing N64. I'm like, I really wish I owned one.
Same as me, because I had the PS1 and a mate of mine had GoldenEye for the 64. And I'm like, oh my god, this game's amazing.
Now there's a game, GoldenEye on the 64.
Yeah, that should be in someone's top 5.
It's got to be.
Definitely, it has to be. I might just change my top 5.
But you see, in them days, the only common thing was the TV. So if it's like you could buy, say, a PlayStation 2, and your friend could buy a Mega Drive, and you just go around each other's houses, and that way you'd both get to play the game.
But that was it.
That's how you got to play the games in them days. And like you say, then you'd get the magazine, and you'd have the demos.
Yeah.
Unless your parents were rich and could afford more than one console.
Well, another thing, that was it. So say if we had about 2 games at home, we'll complete it, but we'll be left with demos that we get. Yeah. And I kid you not, we will rinse those demos. Inside out. And then when you remember this game, this ninja game. I remember this, like your purple dressed ninja, and there was a demo on that. It's not Ninja Gaiden. And you're like running around in the forest. We played that to death. It was like, I'm thinking back, what the hell did we do?
Right, so did you ever play the original game after that?
No.
I was gonna ask you, do you ever play the original and just smash it because you'd done the demo? You knew what was going to happen.
No. Just brief memory of
that was the thing. They were quite clever in them days. They only gave you maybe 1 or 2 of the levels. So although you would play and play and play that demo to absolute death, to the point where you could play it blindfolded, it didn't ruin the game. If you eventually went and bought the game, you just knew. And sometimes that level might be like, say, 10 levels into the game. So they weren't even spoiling the beginning of the game for you. It was quite good in them days.
It's funny you don't play demos now, though, isn't it?
You can still get demos.
Yeah, no, you can.
They're on Steam.
When's the last time you played a demo?
I tell you what, the last time I did do a demo was on the Switch for God Eater 3.
Oh, yeah, you're talking
because it went down in sale. I wanted to play it for ages. It went down in sale and over half price. But I was still like, I don't know where I'm going to like this game or not. So they did offer a demo, and good thing I played the demo because I didn't honestly do much of the game personally.
Yeah, it's a bit like Monster Hunter.
But I was going to ask you about demos. Did you ever, or any of you for that matter, again going back to PlayStation 1 magazine, they had a demo for Resident Evil 2. Now there was a demo for it, but it wasn't a demo per se. It was a demo, but it gave you 30 minutes to play the game.
Oh, okay. No,
so you could do whatever you want in the game within 30 minutes.
Right, and then what? Okay.
And then it was shut down after 30 minutes. But do you remember the door? Every time you go through a door, the doors would load. And that was a good minute of the demo. Anyway, just waiting for a door to open.
Have you actually beaten the game in half an hour? I'm pretty sure that's...
No, I would assume there's a speedrunner that's done it, personally. But you couldn't do it with a demo. Yeah. You could probably do it with like a PC hack or something, which is how most speedruns are done now, isn't it, through a PC hack? But yeah.
The only fond memory of a demo I remember was us when we eventually bought Metal Gear Solid, which is one of my favorite games.
Is it number one by any chance?
We'll find out.
It's quite possible.
I think you get a copy of Silent Hill.
That's right. Yes.
Yes.
We shut ourselves that one.
Yeah, because it's Konami, isn't it? It's the same company. Yeah.
That was brilliant.
They just dished it out for free.
Yeah, not as a demo. You get it.
Oh, as a demo.
Yeah, you got to a specific part, and then it would shut off. Then
I think when
you
get inside the cafe.
That's it. Yeah, and then the thing smashes through, and then it cuts.
I was like, oh, that's me done. They did freak me out. Well, yeah, back to me waffling on about things.
You get back to gaming.
Yeah, gaming. After the PlayStation era, I think Xbox. Is that PS2, and then I did manage to get Xbox, not in the early stages, but near the latest life.
I had the first
Xbox, the chunky,
big black
one. And obviously.
With the best controller. Do you remember the first controller?
You
for
still
that?
get that. The Duke.
I freaking love that
Nuts.
controller. People bitched and moaned about it so much because it was too big or not.
I was talking about it last year.
But did you know they had 2 extra buttons, which is just a normal black and white one?
Yeah.
And they never come back. Ever since the 360 days, those 2 buttons have just gone.
Like an X and Y button, wasn't it?
That was next to him, wasn't it? Yeah.
I always assumed that became the start and select button.
No, because it was essentially, if you ever played Halo, it was your on and off for the flashlight.
Is that what it was for?
But if you ever go back and play Halo on the original Xbox with the original controller, that when you hit the white button or essentially turn the light on the flashlight, it stays on like it's a flashlight as well.
Oh, wow.
And I never knew that recently.
That's Microsoft for you.
Nice little touches. I miss that controller.
You can still get it.
It was too big though.
No, man. No, I freaking love that.
At that time I was in love with PlayStation, so I just loved. I just didn't
PlayStation
accept
fanboys,
it.
yeah.
I just didn't accept Xbox, although I had it.
But in all fairness, they've never really changed their controller.
Because everyone was in love with that controller. It was an amazing controller.
Yeah, but
DualShock
I think we
2.
should come back to that as another episode. But for me, I don't find like online gaming fun with that controller. There might just be my opinion on it, but I remember buying Battlefront console, PS4 console, and then I was like trying to do online, but I can't get to grips with it for a first line.
It is a bit small.
Person online gaming.
The current Xbox console's got the best controller, but still decent. You know, got fond memories of that, especially when you're playing Metal Gear with the Psycho Mantis.
But the favourite game.
Oh, don't get me started.
It is the best game. Come on.
Oh god.
But anyway,
so spoiler one.
Number 1.
So yeah, after that, after PlayStation 3, made a bit of money. I pretty much owns the consoles, and even now I currently own every single console. But just whatever it takes. Try to make sure you play every console. That's what.
I must admit.
But in your opinion, is that what it takes to be a gamer, to play on every console?
Yeah, because you need to experience every type of games. Because obviously Nintendo had their sort of like kiddie games, but it's still amazing.
But you're going back on what Little G said now.
What?
A game. To me, a game's a game. It doesn't matter
It's
what format you're playing.
But it's not the player's fault that the developers don't make it for cross-platform. They've only recently started doing that.
See, I've never owned a PlayStation. Not that I didn't want one, I just never did. I've had 2 Xboxes, and my PC's gone through various different changes. And it's only really in the last couple of years that you're able to play games that were, say, Sony exclusives. You can play them now on other consoles.
Saying that Death Stranding's coming out.
Yeah.
Is it out already?
What's today? It's the 11th. So next week.
Yeah.
Next 14th is out.
So you see, I mean, the days where if you were that desperate to play a particular game, you literally either had to go out and buy that console, or you had to go around your mate's house who had one.
You would do whatever it takes to play.
Well, yeah, exactly. Depending on the game. If the game interested you, that's the whole point. If the game is what interests you, it's not the machine you're playing it on. Not necessarily.
Another point. I've never owned a Dreamcast. I did want to own a Dreamcast. I didn't want. I didn't need to touch it.
I have to say, I was fortunate to own one. Very, very underrated.
Well, I have played many games on that.
But let's save that for another episode.
Right,
Console ones, we'll come back to that.
I had to throw that in.
We'll do a console wars special.
Yeah. Oh yes, the Christmas special.
So is that you? Is that your?
That's me. I don't, yeah, that's me done.
That's good.
Yeah, well done. So who's next in line, sir? Who are you, and why? What does it take to be a gamer? How did you get into games?
Hi, everyone. Well, my name's Gokul, and, just previous to this, when Ant told us that we were going to do this podcast, brain just lit, all these neurons were going on. Because the first thing you do think about is, where did gaming start? Personally for
Just
you.
one second. Can you just say your nickname again?
What's my nickname? Is it Gopal?
No. Pharmasutra.
Pharmasutra. Yeah. Exactly.
Do you work in a pharmacist, managers?
Yeah.
Cool.
The drug dealer with a license. That's my chat line.
Yeah. The drug dealer gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's I hate the fact that my job just incorporates, because my usernames on the PSN is like alchemist, which is like mystical chemist.
Very good, very
right?
good. Yeah.
So yeah,
Clever.
yeah, and then
Also, the biggest Breaking Bad fan ever, are you?
yeah, that as well. But yeah, my gaming kind of like my journey started. First ever console was the, do you remember the brick Nintendo, the NES? Was it
the NES? The original NES, yeah.
That's right. And it's something that I never asked for. I think my dad just realized that when it came to Christmas and I was writing my list, that I wasn't that cool of a kid. So he went to Toys R Us and actually bought me one and said, play this, son. And I was like, oh my God, I've got the coolest dad in the world. And I played it. And the first game, you had like the cartridge, and there was 3 games on it. If I remember, it was Super Mario Brothers, the original, and it had this 2D.
One of a time classic.
Yeah, exactly. And number 2 was Tetris. Yep. And number 3 was this it was like a football game before FIFA, but it was like bird's eye view. So you just see like the little heads and the legs coming out. It's really hilarious. Yeah, so I remember playing that, and I would just play Mario. And then at that point, it was like February, 2 months after Christmas. And the next thing you know, like, that's okay, you need more games. So he must have gone to like Tooting Market and just got loads of these like cartridges. I think he went to New Age, which was what you were talking about earlier, guys.
Oh man, that is
like an independent game store that's close to us. And that was like, that. It was just, you can just go and window shop there. They had
We had one here in Crawley called Gamesville.
It was great,
very good.
It's a shame, isn't it? It was shut down.
They always had this retro TV in there, like a massive retro, and it was always look like cool on there. And you're like, oh my God, I want that TV.
It's like a big like box TV, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that's how it started. So it's from the NES, and obviously ended up going to Gal's house a lot. And then one day I turn up, and these guys have got this PlayStation, and I've heard so much about the PlayStation, and then can't remember the game that they played it, but we were talking about this earlier, weren't we, Gal? Right?
Yeah, I think you're going to talk about that game, Crime Killers.
Crime Killers.
I think
it's like this futuristic cop game. The thing is, what got me into it is like, before the PlayStation, so you had the pirate privacy warning. Then after that, it shows like a little like cinematic.
That's right.
And the graphics for that were incredible. And you thought that was the game, right? So I'm like, oh my God,
I think you get it. I remember we got it as a bundle, as one of those. And then you get Crime Killer and another game, I can't remember, but definitely Crime Killer.
But that was the ability of the PlayStation 1, was having the full motion video thing. But I mean, the Sega Saturn brought that in, but the quality for the video was absolutely dire, wasn't it? But then when you had the PlayStation 1 Sega Saturn, it was like you said, next level stuff.
Next level.
Because I don't know if you know a game on PS1 called Alien Trilogy.
Is it from the Alien movie?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But the opening for that is. The cinematics for that are incredible.
Beautiful.
It's just so I know where you're coming from when you say Crime Killers has a decent opening to it as well.
Yeah, and just playing that, and it was just like, oh my God, this is what gaming is. It's not just 2D; it can be 3D, like the geometrics.
The next level,
exactly. So I was like, Dad, I know what I'm going to get for Christmas, and this time he was like, no. So,
how much?
Yeah, exactly, straight. So I ended up getting a level 4 in my Sats.
I believe it was around
that was
£100.
enough for me to get Yeah.
I believe it's about £100 or back then.
What's that?
Oh
Console.
no, mate, it was more
PS1 console.
PS1 was $2.95.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shit.
But then just pure accident. I think I got it at the time when the DualShock came out. Because
it wasn't DualShock to start with, was
That's
it?
right. No, it wasn't. And then that came out. So first game on that was I was a wrestling fan by that point, Attitude Era.
My man,
right? Yeah,
my man.
exactly. So the first game
it's not fake. I don't care what anyone says.
It's definitely not fake. Yeah, it was a WWF Warzone.
I still remember when you came in with that game. It was like, God, look what I got.
Look what I got. Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God.
exactly. It's incredible. And what I loved about that, I mean, for me, this is what's kind of like we talk about, how we're all different in terms of game. For me, it's about the customization. So from that, to be able to create a wrestler and going to Need for Speed, creating your car. This was during the time where Fast and the Furious was, all that pop culture
on the
around that and
PlayStation.
stuff. That was on Need for Speed.
That's
yeah.
two.
PS2, which was later on and stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of going forward on that bit, but that's basically the gist of it. So I'd really like the customization even now. When it comes to for example, a PC game, Division, and you get to create your character, and even now to GTA Online, which is really scary because I'm playing GTA Online now. My character really does look like me, and it's really scary. Yeah. So that's that. But yeah, PlayStation. I've been
go call Second Life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So as a real drug dealer, and
as a real one and a fake one,
yeah, best of both worlds. Yeah, and so that's how it was, and I placed pretty much PlayStation after that, PS2, PS3. Didn't really get into Xbox, and then about 2 years ago, I heard through the gals about I heard that they were converted to the Xbox, and I was like, why?
Who brought you back to that, by the way?
Thanks to this man right here, Ant-Man.
It was you, Ant.
It was me, yeah.
I'm so glad.
Come on, it is the best console.
But we'll go into that later. Why that happened.
Spoilers.
That's another episode.
Yeah, and I think now we're talking about how gaming has changed. Because before like you said, you had to go out £70. I did not know that. That's I'll never complain about buying games again.
The sad thing was I never got that game. I ended up buying Wave Race.
Which
is still a good game, by the way. Wave Race is good on the 64. Underrated.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. So with that and stuff, I mean, the Game Pass, and it's funny because that's how gaming's going now, isn't it? That's the future of gaming.
It's weird you bring that up because recently Capcom come up with saying that 80% of their game sales is digital now.
I saw that.
It's all digital, man. It's all
but in all fairness, I mean, the time we're in at the moment with the COVID and whatnot, a lot of it will be digital unless someone has it sent to them by Amazon or something like that.
Exactly.
So it might be 80% now, but once life's back to normal, it might go back 50-50 maybe. Who knows?
I know they stopped doing this, but every time back when they used to open a game case, you get a manual. You don't even get a manual no more.
Oh my God.
But manuals, NES days, do you remember them?
Yeah.
They were the shit back in the day.
It was like a book, it was like that thick. And
I used to bring the manual into school. Right,
really? Yeah.
Have my maths book, but have the manual inside and read about.
Just read that.
Oh, that's how you get a flower, and then you can flip firebombs at Goombas. That's how you do it. I couldn't care about that. I was more into my NES manuals back then.
Of course. And even little things like that has changed. You don't get that fancy manual inside. That manual, something about physically having a game as well. Even now when
they're mainly like art books now.
Yeah.
You don't get. You might get 1 or 2 pages about the company and building the game, and then the other 90% of it is artwork from the game.
Exactly.
But that was cool as well in a way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it can be quite cool.
But I remember that even the Game Boys manuals were for the Pokemons and stuff. Their manuals were really good.
Yeah.
This is about games, not manual guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we could do an episode about that. Maybe. Maybe. But that's gaming, and I have to side with John here with the PC. There's a few games on PC as well, which you'll see in my top 5, and I'll get onto that. When I get onto that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Seeing as I know you're a very PlayStation person, so I was thinking at least 4 out of the 5 would be PlayStation.
PlayStation, yeah. I had to throw in some PC games there because, in a sense, those PC games were wow, it's very PC.
There was a game that I wanted to get on PC, but at the time my PC wasn't good enough. I think it was that golden game, Black and White.
Black and White.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a good game.
Yeah, the PC I had at the
that's
time,
good.
I was running around to get it, to run on my PC, but never.
It never worked.
I know of it, but I never.
And do you know what the sad thing is? You can probably run that game on your phone now. That's how good gaming has got now. It's like some of the mobile games I see nowadays. I would never have thought I could play that on my phone. Like I can play Xbox on my phone now. I would never think of anything. It's like something, 10, 20 years ago when the first video phone came out. There's no way I would be thinking I could play my Xbox on this in 20 years or so. No way.
But that in itself is like what we were sort of saying already. That's the power that games have.
Exactly.
If you're, like I say, it doesn't matter what format you're playing the game. It doesn't matter if it's on your phone or your Xbox or your PC or anything.
Yeah.
Thanks for the cue.
But yeah, it's and it's like Microsoft are behind most of this now. They're a massive company driving all these different games with cross-platform, xCloud. That's
Sony's behind them as well.
Well, I'm not saying they're not, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Games are huge now. There's probably make more money with games now than you would in the actual film industry.
Oh, 100%.
Close.
Don't get me wrong, PlayStation have good games, but I think in terms of what Xbox offers, Sony is behind on that. So Game Pass, PlayStation Now, customable controllers, and Sony does add-ons for their controllers now. So don't get me wrong, their games are phenomenal. Yeah. But when it comes to like stuff that offers players new things, Sony's because Sony was very strict on crossplay, especially with Fortnite. Yeah, it's like if you want to play Fortnite with your mates, you buy our console. That shouldn't be the attitude to it.
No, that's true.
I just feel like Sony's been lazy in the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, they're like waiting.
They're playing a catch-up game now. That's for definite.
Yeah, they had the wrong marketing strategy.
It could be for now. Another episode for that.
Yeah,
definitely.
The Sony hating episode. But no, go. So
and that was that. So a bit of PC, and you have your bits of like portable gaming in there. So Game Boy Pocket was the first one.
Yeah,
and I have to quickly just fit this in. I bought an original Game Boy, like that one. I took it to my cousin's house and I left it, and I kid you not, it disappeared the next day. I asked my dad, and my dad does this thing where he just gives stuff. Like he's a legend. You've heard my dad. So he gave the console to my cousin without telling me, and I don't know why he did that. Till this day, I don't know why, but I don't know. I just came home.
Did you make him buy you another one?
Do you know what? I should do that now. Exactly.
That cousin's gone to CX, traded it in, got about 50 quid for it.
Oh mate, I just want to use a swear.
Do any of you remember the N-Gage? Nokia?
Yeah, that was a mobile, wasn't it? Like mobile phone.
That I bought one of those.
That was my
first.
Mate. When I worked at Blockbusters, we had what was called a game station, which was essentially Blockbusters' own side of gaming things.
That,
Nice.
So many people traded in that Engage. No one liked it.
No.
Never earned any. You got about 10 quid for it. You probably paid nearly £200 for it back in the day. No one loved it. It was horrible.
I think I've still got mine in a box somewhere.
But again, that's mobile gaming gone from that to what we have now to
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and well, guys, going back to the question about what it takes to be a gamer, is that right? It's amazing hearing your views on that. I think if you enjoy your games, it doesn't matter if you're someone, if they have a Peppa Pig game and you're 3 years old, that you're a gamer.
Exactly.
And now it's just made gaming open to anyone. Like I've known my brother's friend who's actually a guitarist right now, and he went on to going to a music college, and what inspired him? Guitar Hero.
I was going to say,
and just pressing the buttons and now and eventually getting into guitar, and now he's playing jazz clubs and stuff, so it's amazing how people can get inspired by that. So in my opinion, I think just if you
I do miss those games.
Yeah,
Guitar Hero Band, I had a lot of fun with those back in the day.
That was just so fun. You felt like a rock guitarist. You can just swing it around you, and if you don't hit the lamp.
But then when they brought the band stuff out as well, one could be on the drums, one could be vocalist, one could be on bass. It was that was amazing back then.
Yeah.
Stupid fun, but brilliant at the same time.
Exactly.
That's Gokul's side. Then we got one more then, and then I'm going to throw a question at you guys, and let's see what your opinion is on that type of gaming. But
Okay, yeah.
Kurge, let's hear. Hello, sir. Who are you?
Hi guys, thanks for letting me speak here today. My name is Kurge.
Thanks for coming on here.
Thank you. My one's going to be pretty short and sweet. I'm pretty sure most of the other guys have pretty much touched up on all the beginning games. I mean, from where I started, the same as my brother, was Sony Mega Drive with Sonic. I mean,
Say Sony Mega Drive.
Oh, sorry. Sega Mega Drive, sorry. I didn't personally play it myself at the time. All I have is a memory of my brother and my mum just doing 2-player co-op with it. No, it was Sonic as well. But you can play as Sonic and Tails at the time. Yeah,
that's right.
And what's fascinating me about that game was, I mean, there was no manual for it where you could actually collect these coins and enter the secret world to collect emerald, the Chaos Emeralds.
That's right, yeah.
And obviously, nobody tells you that. You just got to find that on your own. Collect 50 coins and then eventually become Super Sonic. And yeah, that's where it eventually started.
You can only turn into him at the end of the game, right?
Once you collect all 7. So if you can collect multiple Chaos Emeralds within one level and actually get it halfway through.
That was the yellow Sonic, wasn't it?
The yellow Sonic, yeah. It was like a super.
So it was like a secret
That was Super Sonic, wasn't it?
Super Sonic, yeah.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Sonic.
I wouldn't figure it out because
Try
not
saying
everyone
that
knew
5 times fast.
Yeah. And I mean, because of that, I even got it on my phone. You keep literally play the same game on my phone because they've obviously ported it somehow. So from Sega Mega Drive, we went on to playing PlayStation, where I guess my first game where I actually constantly played was probably Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. And that was the game changer. I think we got through the whole game. That was the time when we didn't have the memory card was messed up, and we got through all the levels, even that secret level. We finished it, and then obviously we got to start again the next day.
Did they bring that back on the Insane Trilogy?
Yes,
it was. I think
1, 2, and 3. And we bought that. Yeah, that's on my Switch.
And number 4 on the way as well.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's about time.
It's about time, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the same.
I don't care, man. I'm still with Crash.
You still got to give it a go.
I'm still going to give it a go, but yeah.
Crash Bandicoot Team Racing, we're just a big fan. If you're a Crash fan, you buy all of them.
But this one's been done by Activision. It's not really Naughty Dog's.
No, that's right. Yeah, because they own it now, don't they?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, they gave that away ages ago, dude. Hence why the Insane Trilogy got released, because Activision bought them out.
It wasn't even done by Naughty Dog as well, but they still did a good job of it.
Yeah,
the same with the Spyro trilogy.
Naughty Dog started it off. So
I know they're wrong to sell it out, didn't they? So from
were they though? Because we wouldn't have got the remaster if that was the case. It would have stuck being on the original PlayStation.
I think
as much as I enjoyed the remaster, I think the original was just somehow better. I don't know.
I mean, it always will be. It always will be, regardless, because that's what got you into the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's just reliving those few moments.
But how hard was Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2, though?
Dude, it still is. Mate, I still have trouble playing the first one.
It's ridiculous.
Especially that annoying frigging bridge level. That does my nut.
But games like that, you had so much secret in it. I had to speak to friends and people who played it to find these secret unlocked gems. Nowadays, I just Google it, and it's quite sad. There's a lot of games I don't play now because I do that, and it's just quite sad. Because back then you have to socialise, we had to peep. What'd you do for this? I found out so much. Exactly, yeah. So I found out so much back then just by speaking to people, and we would go back to school, and be like, "Oh shit, how do we do it?" And the guys, I got the blue gem. And I did this, and I was like, "Wow!" And I go the next day and do it. So yeah,
and the internet has changed so much. That's what I want to touch up upon the point that you guys talked about the demos not being played as much as before.
Yeah.
And it's just solely because most of the games are on YouTube, where you can watch the walkthrough of someone playing through it, and there's no need for you to actually play the game yourself, where you can see someone else play it. Mm-hmm. The same with Twitch streaming, Mixer, where you could just watch someone literally play the game for yourself. And
E3 does a lot of first 10 minutes of it or so, isn't it? Gameplay wise,
it's just I think demos are obsolete at the moment. So
it's still there, but
it's still there, but not many people use it. Like I said, the one about God E3, that's the first time I've done it in 20 years. So
because it's obsolete, not obsolete. Maybe because there's a lot of review channels now as well. You want to know about the game, you just go on YouTube and type it in. That's what I do. And they're like, okay. So
I kind of do that when I'm stuck on a level now, though. Is the thing. It's like I do that.
I do that all the time.
You only look at the part of the video that shows you where you're stuck, and then you turn it off and you carry on with the game.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I'm like, it's a dead end. Where do I go? Oh, screw this. I'm going to go on YouTube. Oh, I should have gone back and crawled under that.
Yeah, but you only go to a certain point, so it doesn't spoil it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My in that respect, first Tomb Raider, that I was forever saying, how to get past this level, because like I say, when first Tomb Raider came out, it didn't have YouTube.
Yeah, nothing.
So and then you go back to school and you talk to your friends and they'd go, "Oh, I got such and such." How the hell did you get that far? And that's how you played games in them days.
That was a true skill check game where you needed to prove skills, like Dark Souls.
Yeah,
yeah.
Don't get me started.
Is it your top 5?
That's another episode.
Yeah, I think another point in my gaming career probably would probably have to be the GameCube, which I've noticed nobody's actually picked up upon.
It's true. Well done.
So many hours on that, as my brother would say, is Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah,
the amount of times we have re-rinsed that. Again, I think we have like a curse with memory cards, because our memory card on the GameCube got reset so many times.
Was there a memory card on the?
It was a
memory card.
it was
like
a small,
and
it was a fake one as well. We had the real one, and we got the unofficial one. Yeah,
fake ones.
Well, if you buy real ones, they won't. They
were like £10 more expensive.
Just fork out the extra £2, you cheap bastard.
The memory card wasn't an issue on the crash one. The game just literally crashes, right? And then you get to a certain point, and the game just kept crashing. So we would just take this disc out and wipe it, blow on it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then put it.
There's a game on the GameCube called Eternal Darkness. You ever heard of that? It's basically one of the launch titles. The game came out, and it was about descending into madness. It's quite a horrific game for a kid's, GameCube game.
I think I always wanted to play that game, but never.
But did you ever know that there's a part where the game crashes on purpose? And makes you think that you need to take the disc out and whatnot. And it used to drive gamers crazy.
No. Really?
But until Google came out 5 years later, YouTube came out 5 years later, people actually realised that you're meant to go through it and try and... people were taking the memory cards out, taking them back and whatnot. No one knew that.
That is a genius.
It's so ingenious. If you've gone YouTube, Eternal Darkness glitch, go on it.
I'll check that out.
It probably got people talking about the game, which in a sense is advertising.
Exactly.
You know who's a master of that? Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. Oh, is he the guy who brings up Kukushan? Is that another Metal Gear reference there?
MGS2. I think there's a bit where the general just tells. I can't remember. What's his name? General
MGS2.
MGS2.
I think that's free.
It's free, isn't it?
No, it's Sons of Liberty.
Oh, Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty is
the second one.
Yeah, it's two.
Anyway, something happens. Spoilers alert, and he literally goes a bit.
Spoiler warning.
It shouldn't be much of a spoiler.
The guy that is giving you like the missions, he kind of goes nuts for a reason. You'll find out if you play the game, and he literally tells you turn your console off. Like he gives you certain intro, and then you're like, and I'm like, oh okay. Literally turn it off. Okay. Then if you carried on, he just kind of go nuts. So. Oh man, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, similar to MGS1, where you fighting this. Oh, I don't know if it's much of a spoiler now, but you're fighting Psycho Mantis, and you actually reverse.
Genius.
You had to fight him on player 2, didn't you?
Player 2, yeah. And
how would you meant to?
How you supposed to know that?
Back? Did he ever read your memory card though?
Yeah, he did.
He does it in GameCube. It was
on the GameCube.
If you played a previous Konami game, he'd be like, you play such and such.
That was genius when they did that.
He didn't know. He read any game. It doesn't Konami.
It's mostly Konami because
I'm sure it wasn't.
I remember what was it? Symphony of the Night. I had a Castlevania Symphony. I never played that. I recommend it. It's specifically a Konami one, and he only mentioned that when I played it.
Oh, really?
So he probably does do it with other games, but because that was specifically a Konami game, he probably only mentioned that for me.
I know he did it, but I thought it was for all games. I'm sure it was.
Well, guys, it's interesting you mention that because on the first Metal Gear Solid, I recently bought on the PlayStation Retro, and there's a bit on it, spoiler alert again, where basically there's a bit in that. Okay, I'm going to continue. There was a spoiler alert. Well, there's a bit where it asks you to read the codec number. Now, the thing is, I thought to myself, okay, they've done this wrong because you have to look at the back of the game disc and it gives you the code for the telephone number to ring up. I don't know if you guys remember that. But then
I'll go into deep like,
We'll talk
detail
about
later.
that. Yeah, but really quickly, just to say, so you think, okay, this is all digital, so how are you going to find the number? And it's actually on the back of the actual PlayStation package, and it's written in the BNF.
I never knew that.
So you got the barcode and you've got the number written in, and I was like, okay, my
Now,
mind is
mate,
blown.
that's genius.
Now imagine how you have to find that out if you're renting the game.
With the Blockbuster
No,
yellow.
listen to
No,
story. It's funny.
the Blockbuster, it comes with like a case, like a normal case with like a cover, and you don't get the actual cover, the console cover. Right. So you
got the rental cover, didn't you? It was like a yellow sort of thing.
So the code was on the actual original case. So how did I get past it? I literally entered like one number.
Shut up.
I think the number was 1.38 or so.
I think it's
still remember
145.49 or something like that.
And then
Yeah.
that one by one. What are you gonna do?
You did it like
I
about
literally went around the game looking for. It says it's on the back of the case. Right. Maybe I got this on the back of a bookcase or like I went around ages looking for that, and then I was like, no, what is this? How are you meant to find that? And I think one of my mates said it's on the back of the case, and I was like, well, how am I going to do that if I don't know, if I don't know in the game? Oh man, that was amazing.
So, Coach, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
back to
mate.
me. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the GameCube era for me. After that was it the PlayStation 2. Obviously, again, Metal Gear Solid 2.
No, I think it's PlayStation 2 then.
It was the same period. Then it was.
Oh yeah,
era,
it's
yeah.
about the same era. Yeah, so
I believe I'm not too
Yeah, PS2, Xbox, then GameCube.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think it's 360 right after because we lived together.
Yeah,
so
there
it was
was-
GameCube.
Yeah.
Then we got the 360.
360 and then PS3 straight after.
That's it. Yeah.
and then
I still remember when they revealed the image for the Resident Evil game for the GameCube. Oh my god, that was so good back then. You remember? I think the Resident Evil 1.
it was 0, isn't it?
Resident Evil 1 got remade on the
Yeah,
GameCube.
remade.
That wasn't
Yeah.
exclusive for that at the
That's it, yeah.
time. And I believe so was Resident Evil 4 at the time was exclusive for
Oh
GameCube.
yeah. And then it was Xbox 360 from then on. That's when we first played the third installment of Halo, and was by far the best one.
The worst one.
Oh, we had nothing to compare to. That was our first.
Yeah.
That was our favorite one.
That was legit the first one, the best one ever, because that actually kickstarted our online
Like multiplayer.
battle.
Yep,
and
totally.
yes,
Halo 3
Yeah.
does have some decent online multiplayer maps.
I think that what made that unique was I think that's where they started.
Halo 3 on PC right now.
Get out of here.
It's on the 14th, John, the same day as Death Stranding.
They're so late, by the way.
Yeah. I'll start wrapping it up here.
Sorry,
for me-
Kurt.
No, sorry. You guys said everything I wanted to say. So back
I'll
to
tell you what, when we do the top 5, we'll go back around the other way. Okay,
Yeah,
so you'll
yeah.
start, okay?
You'll come us.
You'll get your comeuppance.
Oh, thank you. So back to the question: what makes me a gamer, or what makes someone a gamer, is just the thought of picking up a controller and just starting off that first step. I think that's what starts it off. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, well done for the GameCube, because again, everyone had all these consoles, and I honestly forgot about the GameCube for a second, even though I had one myself. But yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. So I'll go into mine very, very quickly. My parents got me, my dad especially got me into gaming. I remember my first ever console was a Commodore 64. I never even asked for it. They just kind of gave it to me. It's like, here you go. Here's these games.
Yeah.
Pop your cassette in there, load up for an hour, and then probably play for about 2 minutes. And then a friend of mine had the NES, and obviously Super Mario. Duck Hunt, do you remember Duck Hunt?
Yeah.
It was the gun.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. So I was like, Mum, Dad, I want a Nintendo. I think every kid at that 80s era wanted a Nintendo. So Christmas that year, I got the Nintendo, and to this day, I still have it.
Wow.
I still have it. It's
No
up in my
way.
I still have my NES up in the loft.
Cool.
But at the same time, the Konami game of Ninja Turtles had come out for it as well. Wow. So it was like a double. Oh my god, like Ninja Turtles and a Nintendo! Oh, this is amazing! This is brilliant. But definitely, my dad is the person that got me into it. Even though he's not a gamer now, but he's a guy who at the time worked for an arcade company that fixed arcade machines, pinball machines, anything that was in a bar at the time.
Wow.
And he used to come home, bring these arcade machines, and just get me into it. And he, after the NES, he bought me a Game Boy, the original Game Boy. I tell you now, to this day, my dad isn't a gamer now, but he is unbeatable at Tetris. You give him any challenger, he will whip your ass like Tetris. I've been trying to beat this guy for how old am I? I'm nearly 40, and I still haven't beaten him.
but that's it about games. Games transcend age.
Yeah,
exactly. There's no age.
That's the thing. No, he's not a game. I mean, he'll watch me play games and stuff, but he essentially isn't a gamer anymore. I think when he left the company, he just kind of like his gaming thing sort of died with it as well, which is a shame.
I don't know. He must get some enjoyment watching you play games.
Yeah, he probably like he'll.
So he's
he'll watch
in a
me
sense,
play.
you're kind of like reliving his youth in a sense. So
I like
cool
to think so. So from then on, every Christmas, every birthday, it was the Master System, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo. But I was, unfortunately, I was one of those kids that everyone had a PlayStation, but I had a Super Nintendo, right? So I remember one time, I used to blag it in school. I used to go, yeah, I've got a PlayStation. I've got this game or that game, right? So my mate's like, all right, let me come around to your house and play this game. So I was like, shit, what do I do? So he come around mine. And he'd be like, "Oh, I'll go to the toilet." I was like, "All right, okay." So I would unhook my Super Nintendo, hide the Super Nintendo, but leave the leads out. And when he walked in the door, I'd be like, "Oh, mate, my cousin's come over and he's taken the PlayStation with him. Oh, damn, we're not gonna be able to play anymore. Oh, what a shame." But then obviously he saved up pocket money, got the PlayStation. Even though I've had all the previous consoles before that, I think like the rest of you around this table, apart from John, obviously, the PlayStation 1 was the definitive machine that made me a gamer.
It defines all
I
of
agree.
us.
I mean, the games back then, even though the Sega Saturn was there and had the sort of a majority of the same games, you cannot deny what the PlayStation 1 offered to you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could play PC games on a PlayStation 1 like Doom, Tomb Raider, all on that for a cheaper price at the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
After the PlayStation 1, I got a PC where I got to know Doom properly, Quake, Unreal Tournament.
Unreal Tournament. What a game.
Yeah, just which is a shame because I think when Crysis came out, Crysis was one of those games where you needed the next level PC. You needed a top-end PC to run that, a top-end graphics card, everything. And that's where my love for PC had gone because it was not affordable. Not my age.
They still do that now.
Yeah.
I watched a video literally 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "But will it run Crysis?"
Yeah, but Crysis is coming out on the Switch now.
Yeah.
That's how you can have it in the palm of your hand. Where back in the day, you needed at least a $2,000 PC to run it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So PS2 was the next one, obviously, and that's when I met the Xbox. I think at that time. And I don't mean to offend anyone here, but I kind of thought PlayStation was going a bit kiddie-ish when you had games like Jackson Dexter.
Come on.
No, hear me out. Ratchet Clank and all that sort of stuff. But when you had Xbox, you had Splinter Cell, you had Halo, you had Max Payne, you had all these adult-themed games.
Payne.
And they were just like... I know you had a couple... I think Max Payne was on PS2, so not just Xbox at the time. But I think Xbox, the original Xbox, one of its later games or last games it was released was Half-Life 2, which again, you needed a high-end PC to play that.
That was on the...
Yeah, it's on the original Xbox, but towards the very end of the Xbox when the 360 was coming out. Yeah. Because again, you needed a high-end PC to play that game, but why have it on PC and fork out $2,000-3,000 when you can have it on your Xbox for 30 quid? Yeah, exactly. So that's probably why I stuck with Xbox, got the 360, still got a PlayStation 3. I think I have owned every console just to not feel restricted. Like, I want to play these games. I'm happy to fork out a couple hundred. Yes. I do miss PC, don't get me wrong. Because stuff like, I love Dungeon Keeper. I love, oh, Christ, what's the other one? I can't think of the top of my head, the other PC game, but they're the ones I really, really miss. And that's probably why I love games. Yeah. I love being immersed into these worlds, these stories. Like going back to Metal Gear was probably like the first time I felt like playing a movie. And that was phenomenal back then. That was just amazing. Yeah. And that was just like, this is why I want to do it. And then when Gears of War came out, again, playing the film, It's just
That was mind blowing.
that was just mind blowing, and for a fact that a 360 barely just ran that game at the time.
You know what sold me on Gears of War was that advert.
The Mad World
With the Mad World
That
song.
was such a brilliant. I was like, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I remember playing the first one for the first time, and then you meet the Berserker, and Marcus is like, "Careful, Berserker. She can hear us. She can smell us." And that's when I was like, "Holy crap! This is amazing. This is like a movie." And that's when I got into Gears of War, and I started writing a Gears of War movie by myself and all that sort of stuff. I was well into it. Absolutely loved it.
So cool.
And here it is today, just playing all these other ones. And again, I own every console still at the moment because I want to play games.
Yeah.
And I think what it takes to be a gamer is just to play games.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're restricted to one or many or whatever. You want to play games, you're a gamer.
Exactly.
That's it.
100%.
So yeah.
Totally agree.
I agree.
So before we do a top 5, I want to put one more question to you guys about what it takes to be a gamer. Right?
Here it goes.
This is going to get a little bit controversial. We're going to go into it quickly because I don't think it counts as a whole episode to do this. Achievement hunting. Right. Do you think achievement hunting is what it takes to be a gamer?
Nope.
It's a different aspect of gaming.
If you're someone called Nilov, yes.
No. The reason why the achievement, it's not achievement hunting. There's certain games, like they have set amount of achievements so that you complete 100% of that game. So back then, like when we were kids, we had the time to play a game and complete 100%. Some of the achievements in certain games, they have achievements for you to complete find out every Easter egg, and they reward you with that achievement.
It's
So
bragging rights, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, and it gives you the rights to brag, because there was a trophy on the PlayStation, Final Fantasy X, and me and him grinded it so much. We spent hours. It took us about 200-300 hours, and we got this achievement. And it was
10 wasn't bad, you know. It was quite a good PS2 game.
Exactly, and we got this rare trophy from it, and someone messaged us saying, "Well done, you guys. I've never seen that. There's like 0.01% person who got that achievement." So yeah, it's like a bragging right.
Why is he going through your profile?
That was very
That was
weird.
amazing.
But yeah. Well, I was just happy with that. But yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say you need to be a gamer, but I can see why people want to complete a game. I
hear your point. It's like if there's a game you really love, I don't think you should play it first to achievement hunt. Like play the game for its story, not skip the cutscenes, whatnot.
Yeah.
Play the game. If you love it that much, go back and I think the only game I have ever done achievement 100% was Dead Space 2.
Yeah, but you loved that. You enjoyed doing that. You
exactly.
wanted
Exactly. But going back to what you're saying, you got your Mega Drive, your SNES, your Nintendo.
Yeah.
None of those games now or do have achievements.
Yeah,
even Switch games don't have
but
achievements.
those games they never forced you to. Right? Yeah, but those games never forced you to play. Like you just had the time. You could go in 100% of it.
Achievements are another aspect of the game. I mainly play PC games, and nearly every game in the last shall we say 10 years, I suppose. 10 years, I suppose.
Yeah.
Have an achievements aspect to it. I play the game because I want to play the game. I immerse myself. I am that player. Yeah. And I happen to pick up achievements as I play the game. I'm not looking for them. I can.
Yeah, you see it as a bonus.
Yes, I can switch. I can switch. You can switch a thing on so it comes up on your screen, and you know how many enemies you've got to kill or whatever to get that. I don't put that on. Every now and again, what happens is I'll be playing on, and all of a sudden this thing come up on the screen. Let's say you have earned such and such, and you think, yeah, but I wasn't trying to get that. I was just playing the game, and I just happened to get it. Yeah. And so, for me personally, achievement hunting is secondary. It's that's what I'm trying to get at with Little G. I mean,
you definitely earn your money's worth if you do 100% of the game.
Yeah, it's like Little G said, you play through the game first, and then if you want the achievements, you'll go and play it back a second time, and this time you will play it to get as many. That's fair enough, but I very rarely go back and play a game a second time, and I certainly won't go back and play it a second time just for achievements,
unless it's Division.
Well, yes. Well, the thing is, if they add more content to that game, then I will go back and play it.
That's the point of it. Yeah.
I'll play the new content and so on. But again, I'm not playing for achievements.
Yeah, if you're playing a game for the achievement, then you're in the wrong. You're not actually playing the game.
No,
I do not do that. I play a game.
You're
I enjoy
skipping
it,
aspects of it.
and I see like an achievement. Oh, I love this game so much, and I'm like, oh wow, let me go 100%. Like Gears, like I'll tell you later. Gears of War, I would go 100% on that because I enjoy it. I enjoyed.
I know you're going with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's one of the achievements I've always wanted.
Yeah, and I got it. Yeah, I'll tell you later. But that's probably for another episode. But yeah, I won it, and that's why I like the achievement system. I wouldn't go buy 10 games just for the I've got 1,000 achievements for all these games. No, I wouldn't buy a game if I don't like it and go 100% just to get the achievement point. But there's people out there who actually spend their time getting the most achievement points. And stuff. Exactly. So it is part of the game. I mean,
it is bragging rights.
It is bragging rights. Yeah. But I mean, me personally, it's like if you like a game, go 100% and you get an achievement for it.
But does that not make you still a gamer? I mean, if someone's achievement hunting. Does that not make them want to play different games that they wouldn't usually play just to, get their achievement points? At least they're still playing the game, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I know they're not won't be enjoying it as much, but at the end of the day, they're still a gamer, aren't they?
Yeah, because we know a certain person, obviously, who would just skip everything. to me, that's not really playing it. That's just to to get your gamer score up. Which is but I see your point. They are playing it to get it. So
yeah. But personally, I'm for what you guys said. I only get 100% in the games I love.
Yeah.
Like Persona, God of War 3. Okay, I'm proud of that one. Sorry, I had to say that. So
I appreciate that having achievement and trophies. Like talking about two Pacific games, which I'm currently playing right now, is Persona Royale. When it first came out, I completed it. I loved it, but obviously they redone it again with the DLC Persona Royale, and I told myself, you know what, I'm going to do this 100%. So I'm like two trophies away from getting my first ever trophy.
Platinum trophy,
Platinum trophy, my first ever one. Because I love it. I put over 120 hours into it already. I'm like near the end, and I'm enjoying it. And then comparing that to a game that came out, I think before the achievement, I think it was PlayStation 2, Final Fantasy X.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember how many hours I put into that. I think it's 300 hours. I remember still playing it, the end game stuff, and I was just leveling up, grinding. I was, not because there was an achievement there, because I just enjoy it. It's just like all the points you guys said. It's just enjoy it. But I do appreciate having the achievement system there. I think it's
well, yeah, but I mean, like you say, the achievement system is there, and it wouldn't be there unless there were people who wanted to do the achievements.
No, but I mean,
but everyone, like you say, everyone's different. I mean, to me, an achievement hunter is not a gamer.
Yeah,
because you're first and foremost you're looking for, in a sense, bragging rights.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're not
personally,
gamers.
Like a person who plays the game because they love the game is a gamer.
Yeah, but
someone who goes back
hunters some of them are technically
to go back. I mean, to become to do achievements. You have to go back 2 or 3 times, and like you say, 100%.
I think we need another episode on this one.
We can come. We can come back to that, but I think we should start now with the top 5 or our top 5 games of all time. Oh, yeah.
Spoiler warning.
I'm loving these sounds.
Right.
It's time for a top 5.
Right, so we're going to go do a top 5 of all time. So 5 will be from our least favourite to our first favourite, which will be the number 1. I know we all wanted to do top 10. It's very hard to do top 5. So what we'll do is we're going to go around the table. I'll start off with 5, and then we'll go around once, and then go to 4, 3, 2, and then 1. But we'll do a little explanation as to why it's in our top 5. So obviously my first one, my number 5 would have to, well, obviously, I think I mentioned it earlier, was Super Mario Brothers on the original Nintendo. It's the reason why I got into console gaming. It's still a classic to this day as well, and Mario still goes on today. So it's pretty much, well, in my opinion, deserve to be number 5 or in the top 5 at least. Courage.
My one's got to be Crash Bandicoot Warped. I've already mentioned it earlier, just simply because it was an all-time favourite. I can go back to it and play it any time, and I'll still get the same feelings as I played it the first time over. Go on, Gokul, your one?
I'm actually watching John right now. He's going to love me for what I'm about to say. It's number 5, and it was on a PC. It was Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah,
which is very different.
Good
but I
game.
remember it's absolutely amazing. You know,
I think it's on the Switch.
It's on the Switch. It's on the Switch. Yeah, it's on the Switch. And the original one was just like 2D. You know, it's like a 2D thing, and now
it's now portable.
It's now portable. Exactly. Yeah. So for me, it was like I used to be scared going on roller coasters, and then somehow this game, like I used to create those roller coasters. Like I remember when New Ride would come out in Dorf Park, and me and my friends would go and. It's weird. Like somehow.
Did you or John ever play Theme Park or Theme Hospital?
The original Theme Park.
Yeah,
Definitely. And I think that was I played it and I didn't really like it as much because when it came to roller coaster building bit, it was very restricted. But then Roller Coaster Tycoon came out and you could really you had steel roller coasters, wooden roller coasters. Yeah, like it was amazing. So that was
you were quite limited on what you could build as well.
Exactly.
Worthy to be in the top 5. Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. Big G.
My one is it's pretty recent. Now I think is worthy being. Even more higher than 5, but Persona 5 Royale. I think it's
Persona 5 at 5.
I think it should be a lot higher.
Don't tell me he's going to go down to Persona 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think it's amazing. I touched upon it just a bit earlier. It's going to be my first platinum trophy. So,
okay.
First ever
Nice.
one, so I'm 2 away. It's amazing. This is the second time I'm playing it. So I reckon I can play it again.
So is this on PS4? Or was on PS4?
It was originally, the first one came out on PS4 a couple of years ago, and they've redone it
2 years
again.
ago, yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
They got the DLC version, and it's so amazing. I think a game where you can go back again and again, I think it should be up in your top 10.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
You've done a good job.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Everyone needs to check that game out.
Little G.
My one is, I don't think no one's a racing fan, but mine was Gran Turismo 4, if anyone. Gran Turismo, it was on the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was big on racing games, and I think because I was 14, I was into cars a lot, and this was the closest thing I could get to driving a car. So yeah, I think they had the license. It was probably, and the graphics. I think if you know the game, the graphics on that was really good at the time, and I used to love
Even
it.
the first one on the PS1 was phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. Even that one, it was really good. But yeah, it was just the closest thing I could get. I mean, they had the licenses. They had so much to offer in that game. It was just I spent hours on that, and I can go back now and play that game. I probably can. You can probably download it or get it somewhere, and then.
Do you know who Gowdy reminded me of? Really quickly, I'm going to throw this in. If you've seen the first Fast and Furious, there's a bit where this guy's about to take a really serious race. Like there's 4 of them,
and he's playing it in the car.
And he's playing it in the car.
Yeah.
And you think this guy doesn't care about the race, but he's playing Gran Turismo in a car. You know, so that reminds me of that's like Gowdy's.
There was something else I did. I put they had this thing called 24-hour endurance race in that game, and you get a lot of money for finishing it. I put my car on a B-spec mode where it drives automatic, and you set certain you make him drive in a certain way, and you keep checking it. So I was sleeping. I let it go since 6 o'clock in the morning, let it drive, and then I woke up midnight to check if I'm still in first place, and I'll drive to make sure I'm in first place, and then overlap them, and then let it go in B-spec mode. So that's how dedicated I was into that game.
So did you watch the recent PS5 launch thing?
Yes, I was.
Because they brought up Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I was telling Al that was why I'm going to get the PlayStation 5.
Well, for Gran Turismo?
Yes, I'm a big fan of Gran Turismo, and like not the latest ones.
I know your background with games. I would never have thought that.
At
all.
Yeah, I thought I did mention it.
No, you've never mentioned Gran Turismo. Racing full stop.
Yeah, that
kept that hidden.
Yeah, no, I love that game.
Dark secret.
Yeah, it's just they haven't had a really good game like since Gran Turismo 4. That was my favorite. Like since then, the other one.
What console was it on?
The PlayStation 2.
Gran Turismo 4 was on PlayStation?
Yes,
no chance.
Yes,
really?
It came out, about 16 years ago, 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was. That is on my.
I only ever played the first one, so
you missed that one.
I'm not a fan. No offense. I'm not a fan of realistic racing games.
Yeah,
fair enough. No, it is. I mean, it is.
I know a lot of people do it for Gran Turismo. I think Forza's the big one at the moment. So
it's like none of them do it for me. I played Forza. I'm into it, but nothing is the same. I'm just sort of big fan.
Don't they have any in the back of the previous games? They never had a driver inside it. It was just
they never
car.
did.
You have to admit, Forza graphically is phenomenal at the moment.
Graphically, Forza has been amazing. It's beautiful. I think Golko, you've seen it as well.
Absolutely amazing. In fact, the first game I played on the Xbox, and for that to be an entry-level game was phenomenal because playing that on 4K, not 60, even it wasn't even 60 frames a second, but that was beautiful.
Amazing, yeah.
So John. What is your number 5?
There we go.
Here we go. Are we ready?
Drum roll, please.
PC?
We're time limited, by the way, so don't go too long.
No, right. My number 5 has to be a recent game, last 4 or 5 years, called The Division. I knew that was coming. I like the immersion in it. I mean, they've actually mapped every street, every building in New York for this game. The first game is set in the winter, and so you had the snow, you had the blizzard, and then the DLCs came out for it, like survival and stuff like that. And then, of course, recently the Division 2 came out. I'm still playing that. So between the two games, I've over 2,000 hours. I just keep playing it and playing it. because
you've got the Ubisoft app, and you show me the amount of hours you've done that. That's just crazy.
I've played.
That sounds like achievement hunting.
No. Well, I think the first game I've put like 1,400 hours in it, and I've done nearly 800 in the second one already. And it's. I mean, the second one is set in the summer in Washington. So graphically, it looks, in a sense, it kind of looks better.
But the add-ons for 2 is back to New York, right?
Yes, one of the add-ons, that they've done for it so far. You go back to New York, but you're doing New York again. It's in
Lower Manhattan, isn't it?
Yeah, Lower Manhattan. Yeah. So it's a different part of the New York map to the first game. So you're not going back to exactly the same streets that you roamed, shall we say, in the first game. There's, I think, there's something like 30, 40 different challenges that you can do, like you say, achievement hunting and stuff like that. And I've managed to pick up like 28 of them, something like that. But there's a few that I would never chase because I'm not that dedicated into it. It's like I'm not an achievement hunter. I just happened to pick up the others as I was.
I don't know, man. 2,000 hours is different.
But no, I'm into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I mean, like I said before, you get in the zone.
You don't do it specifically for achievement. If you play it, and you earn it.
I am that agent. And it's a bit like today with the COVID virus. It's basically about a virus, and you're going around trying to protect the innocent from, the bad guys, kind of thing. So
I was actually going to just quickly ask you that, John. Isn't it scary, the parallels now? I mean, this game came before the COVID thing, and there's things in that you're reading like extracts and newspapers, and you're like, it's scary. Like the research, But thing is that what they done when they spoke to people in the government, and there's an actual protocol there for if something like this was to actually happen. And
we all need to play Division.
Yeah, and so they were. That's where they got their insight from. They basically said, well, if something like this, if lawlessness comes in, this is what we would do. Yeah. And so it's in a sense, it's kind of like real life. Then when you think of it like that,
I'm gonna have to jump on this Division 2 then.
Right, moving on. So my number 4, my number 4 would be the original PlayStation 1 Resident Evil. I remember renting this out of Blockbusters. And then going back to what Gokul said about the cinematic openings, like when you saw the film, like if you watch it now, the acting is diabolical, and the dialogue in it is corny as hell. But man, was that revolutionary back then! Yes, of course. And I have never, until I played Alien Isolation, I have never shat myself so much playing the game. Me and my friend rented it out. I believe it was like a Thursday night. We were meant to go to like a youth club that evening or something to do stuff, and we were like, screw that, we're going to play Resident Evil. We just got so into it. And then, with a lot of games, you had subtitles for the writers, you had to read it one not, whereas you had these characters standing, talking to one another like it was a real movie, going back to playing a movie again sort of thing, and just loved it. Again, it's the game that created and defines survival horror.
Yes.
100%.
Regardless. And that's why it's got to be number 4.
Yeah, of course.
Kedge, number 4.
My number 4 is actually Tony Hawk's Skate.
What a game!
What a game. Amazing game for me. Simply
what console was that for?
PlayStation 2, wasn't it?
PS2.
PS2, yeah.
PS2. I remember playing it on the PC once.
No, it was an amazing game. It was a great step up from the first Underground. Only because I like the story that they added into it with the kind
story?
of there was actually a story to it. Yeah, not from the original, but they had like a kind of story where you got the rival going on, where your best friend's actually a really good friend skater of yours, and then eventually he, backfires and becomes a rival. Yeah,
I never knew. I never knew that.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. Yeah,
it was amazing. Yeah, and besides that, you got the customizations of your character, your skateboard and stuff and whatnot, but. Yeah, I'm really psyched for the new one.
I was about to ask you, are you going to play the new one?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, man. Gokul,
number 4.
Okay, guys. Again, just like gazing at John as I say this. It all ends up.
Wait for it.
PC games.
on.
It's The Sims.
Oh,
the original Sims.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
and touching up on what like Gao and I think Ant was saying earlier about not having the high spec PC to play it. My PC just about ran the first Sims that came out, and this was in 2000. And then after, I remember I installed the update to that, living it up, and that's when you had like you can have like multiple houses and house parties and stuff like that. And I couldn't run it, but
My daughter still plays that
pretty
game.
good.
she still plays it, and the music is incredible as well. Just to think, a game that had to create its own language, Simoleons, and
Does it still go now?
Yeah.
Still
it's
runs
going
now.
now. And the funny thing is, I always thought to myself, I can't wait till I'm older, because this is a game where it was restricted at the time. I mean, can't blame it. I mean, it's a life simulation. You have kids and stuff like that. But I thought, I can't wait for them to go to a restaurant and take this, girl on a date and stuff. And it's happened. And it's
do that
here.
now.
Yeah. And I totally forgot, because I'm just like trapped in this like all these games, and then all of a sudden I forget about The Sims and I come back onto it. I don't know if you guys ever had this, and it's like it's updated and they've got everything now. You can actually build on your careers and stuff like that. Yeah. So for me, The Sims, I did it. It was
I honestly didn't know it was still going today, to be honest.
No.
yeah, it's the community is incredible. In fact, I read recently that it's so big now, they're actually having the first ever it's like what's that thing called? Like reality TV show in game.
Okay.
So read up on that. It's quite
I follow
interesting.
a YouTuber who does like really cool house designs.
Yeah,
He can do like really, really like
unbelievable,
amazing designs.
Exactly. And apparently they've had competitions where people have actually designed houses, and people have given them contracts to come and design houses. It's amazing. So it's generated jobs and stuff like that. But yeah, all in all, for me, like The Sims, I mean, when that came out, it was something different. It was it was unique.
Well, it takes multiplayer to another level, because you could play it multiplayer with your friends, and your friend could be living in a house next door to you.
Yeah, you can do that now.
Do you know
which
what I
is
mean?
Incredible.
And you can
Yeah.
you can
And,
pick, you might work in the same job, so you pick him up in the morning and you go to work.
You go to
it's
work
just
together.
absolutely
Yeah,
unrealistic.
and people actually make like live diaries, and now you got YouTube, and it's endless. Yeah, so yeah, The Sims.
Good game.
Yeah,
2
definitely.
PC games.
Yeah.
Are we going for another 3?
Lucky number 3, huh?
Big G. Don't say Metal Gear 4.
Oh, you know what that one's.
Come on.
All right, my one is Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good choice.
I was expecting a Zelda in there, but I didn't think Wind Waker. That was the GameCube one.
Yeah, I specifically put this one I think this is the first one I've ever completed. First ever one. I've played the other previous ones, but never actually come around to complete it. This is the first ever one, and I think the art design for that was just amazing. I think I was just in love with it. I remember when it came out, I was like, oh my god! I was used to sketch a lot, draw out. I drew so many designs from that. It's so cool, and I'm fascinated with that game as well.
Did you ever play them on the Wii? Like Twilight Princess and stuff?
Yes, I played that one.
So just the N64 ones you never got to play?
No. I have played them, but never come around to complete them. Ocarina of Time's pretty hard, man. It's like back in the day.
I heard the Master.
Majora Masters.
That's meant to be the hardest, apparently.
On the N64, that was the hardest.
Like it's a time limit or something, isn't it? on that one?
I think just count down to the days.
They remade that on the 3DS, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's still hard. It's still hard.
Yeah, but it was back then. It was harder because there's no walkthrough now. You can
Yeah.
Google it or whatever.
But you can't beat that game without. If you have no idea, you need a walkthrough or someone to speak to how to beat that game, because it's very hard. Yeah.
But yeah, Wind Waker, I was mind blown when that game came out. I think it's worthy of being top 4.
LG, number 4.
Mine was Dead Space on number 4. Yeah.
Nice!
How did I forget that?
How it happened was, I think my older brother came in one day. He bought the game very cheap for £7 with an anime. It comes with an anime.
Yeah, that is a damn good anime as well.
Yeah, and I was into anime
Dead Space Downfall.
Yeah, and I wouldn't watch any random anime. So he put it on. I was like, oh, let me sit down and watch it. And I watched the game. And I saw the anime. And
It's
I thought,
the prequel,
wow.
isn't it? It's before, yeah.
prequel. And then you see the anime, and it's amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but it's amazing. And then you see the ship come in, and you play as this character who comes in the
Do you
ship.
remember what the ship's called?
Ishimura, is it?
USS Ishimura.
Yes. And it was, I was like, oh wow. And the game starts from there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm actually going to play this game because I'm going to be shitting myself right now. So I literally sat down.
Man, I'm pissed off you got that in there.
Dude, that was one of my favorite games. But that also is because it was up there because that was probably the first horror game I played alone. Like I used to watch Gal, my older brother, play it because I was too scared to play horror games. So the first one I played alone by myself. And also talk about trophies. I went 100% on that and completed that.
It's like I said, I did Dead Space 2, yeah,
because I enjoyed it so much. So I'm gonna go play the hardest difficulty and unlock all the stuff, and I did it. And that was amazing.
Dead Space 1 or 2?
Dead Space 1. One
Yeah,
was my favorite.
That's not exactly the easiest thing ever.
Oh no, it was
Nightmare
hard.
mode is ridiculous.
I love customizing the weapons in that. That was so cool.
They had
And
a
the
good
armor.
add-ons to that as well, like good DLCs to that.
Please tell me you done it on Dead Space 2 as well. There's a reason why I 100% Dead Space 2.
I didn't 100% Dead
Right,
Space
so
2,
if you
yeah.
100% it, you get a gun, which is basically a foam hand that points like that.
Oh wow!
And every time,
Oh, yes, I
every time
remember.
you shoot, Isaac Clarke goes pew 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 pew.
Oh my God, I think I don't remember. I think I saw that on YouTube. I saw videos
Yeah,
of that, and I was
mate,
trying to
it's
go for that.
One of the best things ever. That's why I 100% did Dead Space 2 was to get that, and it is literally one shot kill as well.
Yeah.
And you just see Isaac Clarke pew pew pew. It's absolutely funny. Oh, man, hats off to you. Good choice. Good choice.
No,
John, what's your number 4? Remember, we're time limited.
Why do you always say that to me? Right, my number 4 is an old game.
On what?
I'm going back to PC. Mid-90s, a game by a company again called Microprose. European Air War. At the time, because I studied a lot of military history at school.
Yeah.
So that's why I was always interested in the likes of Call of Duties, Medal of Honors, and Microsoft did their own flight sim, and they did a combat flight sim, and I was big into that one as well.
I got that. Yeah, that's brilliant.
So,
It is good,
but European Air War, I
Old
don't
school
know, it
PC.
sort of had an edge. The graphics at the time were above anything else. You were in that plane. You were that pilot in the Battle of Britain, shooting down the Germans and stuff like that. Amazing game. Loved it a bit. I still got the disc.
Loved it enough that it's still in the top 5.
It's in my top 5. I've still got the game. I haven't played it for quite a long time now, but but I make sure I know where that disc is, because I will go back and play it again.
Yeah, considering the amount of PC you played, I'm surprised that's in there. I thought I was going to expect you
I
to do
loved that game.
Dungeon Keeper or something like that to come back into it. But
I did love that game.
Yeah. Okay, so number 3, down to number 3. Obviously, I mentioned it earlier to you guys. My number 3 is Gears of War. It's a game I still love today, especially the Ultimate Edition, which brought the PC version into it as well. Yeah, Gears 1, yeah. And made me the hardcore Gears fan I am today. Love the series. Number 3 is my favourite, but 1 is the one I'll always go back to. It's the one that made me the fan of Gears of War, as well as its multiplayer, which we all still play today as well. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Yeah, my number 3. I know it was a tough call for this one out of the whole series, but I'm gonna have to go with it. It was Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Is that the one where you don't play as?
Yeah. For me personally, that was the best one, because that was the one I personally played myself and just over completed that game. First time I played on the PlayStation 2, and once I completed the game, there was this extra difficulty that was unlocked called European Extreme Difficulty. I'm not like, what? And it was literally the hardest. I could not complete it on the game. I only.
Do you reckon you could now?
I did actually go back to it when they re-released the remastered version of number 2 and number 3.
Yeah, because they're on Xbox now.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, and I'm just proud to say I got an achievement for that. So there you go. There's my proof. But yeah,
he's not a gamer. He's.
But I never did it for that. But I eventually did complete it on the remastered version.
Nice.
Nice. Good. Go cool. Number 3.
All right. So number 3, again, this is a tough one, and it's going back to picking the one that was in the series. And is waiting to push the PC button.
But it's not PC.
It's not PC. So my eyes divert away from John. But it has to be Hitman Contracts. right?
Yes.
And
Is that the earlier one?
This was the 3rd one in the series.
Okay, I've never personally played a Hitman game. No, Blood Money was the only one I played.
Yes, which is the one after that, and it's very similar to Hitman Contracts. In fact, they couldn't improve. It was basically just a sequel. Like everything was exactly the same.
And what console was this for?
And this was on the PS2.
Okay.
And the reason why that one, because I had to think, I was so easily going to say Hitman 2, but I think Hitman Contracts. There was something about playing that. Like it was just brilliant. It was all about the AI of the enemy, and it's in a stealth game that was quite high, high level. It was brilliant, like in all ways. For me, like the levels were just, there's something about it so dark as well. I've never played anything so dark. Like, for example, one example of a level, and I know like viewers are listening to this who've played this, the one that sticks out to them was called the Meat King, and it took place in this kind of like, it was like a bondage nightclub that was a warehouse, and the king was there poised, and he's like on his little throne and stuff, and people are dressed up in their like PVCs or gas masks or whatnot, and you're going in and you've got to try and kill this, and it was just surreal. But it's like, but it's like you're learning so much about adult life and like in this game. But it's I think out of all of them, Hitman did it for me. It's just the stealthiness of it. And do
you still play Hitman now?
Yeah.
And that one that's the one that stands out to you.
Exactly, yeah. Because I think I had to choose, because Hitman 1 as well, like it was episodic, which I really liked because it gave me time to kind of just properly finish a level off, like again 100% and achievement.
I feel like I feel the same. I think the older ones, like even though I've played the recent ones, I feel like the older ones were better.
100%, yeah.
But they weren't exactly episodic either, were they?
Yeah.
I think that's what's done it for me. I don't like the episodes.
Exactly, because that's the thing. Like you download something now, and it's like it's always going to come with like glitches, and there's always going to be like that 2 GB update. But there, it was like they had to finish the game completely to release it, so they tested it, and that's why it was perfection. That makes sense. So
the older ones, like they wouldn't tell you versions what way to kill them. But I think the episodes it gives you kind of hints on, pushes you directions of what way you can do. Whereas
and it's
you play the older ones, there it is. There's the level. Go and kill this guy. You can go guns blazing, or there's like 7 different ways of killing them.
Exactly.
Whereas this, I think the recent one, I kind of felt like, because there's like the game kind of pushes you in the directions of what what ways to kill them.
It kind of spoils it, doesn't it? You don't discover that.
I think that's what done it.
Definitely, it was like an assassin simulator. Just like that's basically what it was.
Nice,
so.
good choice.
Brilliant.
So mine is my one is
Metal Gear.
No. Mine is Pokemon Blue. On the
Pokemon Blue.
Yeah, on the Game
Nintendo.
Boy. It was really good, man. I think that was.
What console was that for?
I believe it was
the Game Boy.
Game Boy Pocket or Game Boy
Color, right?
Game Boy Color and Game Boy Pocket.
No, I think it's. I remember playing black and white. Is it? Okay. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, it was in black and white.
Yeah,
that was in black.
So
and
the
white.
original Game Boy.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I think it was my sort of first sort of step into like RPG, and I just love the fact that I'm a big Pokemon fan even now, but I still feel like the older ones were way better. But the first one, I just love the fact that you go around and you got 6, teams of Pokemons, and you can each level them up. They all got separate moves. Everyone's got their elemental weaknesses and stuff. And then as a kid, your imagination runs wild. And I think with that game, even though it was like pixelated and like colorless, I had I just imagined having these creatures following me around, I thought it was cool. I think that even now, I think even my RPG games, like summons from Final Fantasies and stuff like that. I think this is cool. You get to level them up; they get stronger. You get stronger. That aspect of me, from that game, is what eventually developed my love for RPGs. Yeah.
That was an RPG. I never really thought of it like that. Like
that's the thing, because when you had an RPG, you're thinking of Final Fantasy 7 and Chrono Trigger, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No one ever thought Pokemon would be an RPG. I certainly didn't. I certainly didn't.
I just realised that now.
That is the basis of RPG, though, isn't it?
But exactly. So, Lil G, number 3.
My number 3 is exactly the same as yours, Gears of War 1.
Good man, good choice.
There was a lot.
Nice.
There was,
respect you.
Yeah, I'm kind of gutted because there was so much to make the spot here. And
the first one, or
the first one?
Yeah.
It was the first one because I'm a big fan of like playing together campaign mode, like cooperative, like split screen especially. Yeah. And that was one of the first ones, that and Halo. But this one done it for me. We played hours on that with my older brother. We just sat down.
He just offered so much.
Exactly.
Straight away.
The story was amazing, and also it was I think it was my first third-person shooter, which was very, very grip. It got me into it, and I started loving it. I really enjoy playing third-person shooter.
Do you remember it was the first time you can actually duck behind something?
Yes, you could actually cover. Yeah. And that was amazing. That whole system of covering and jumping over walls. It was amazing, and it's just you feel like so much in control of your character than than in first person. So
one of the best in-game weapons ever decided.
Yeah. Oh, the Lancer. They had so much good stuff in that game. The weapons, the characters. You fell in love with everything, like the story, even the multiplayer. When my internet connection got up and running well, the multiplayer, if you played it, was amazing.
Yeah.
And the sound they had when you get a headshot, it was so satisfying.
It's still set. Today is still
to
is.
this day,
to this day.
Even the new Gears of War, the sound is just so satisfying. I think people still play it just for that reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gears of that is by far the third spot. Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
Oh,
John.
Well, my number 3, funny enough, is a modern game. It's literally only came out last year. Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh.
Yes, John.
Well, the newest one.
The newest one.
Really?
Yeah, because it
I
is
did not see that coming.
Yeah. I've played all the other ones, and they all started off. The first few of them, in fact, I think most of them were all like World War II based, different aspects of World War II stuff like that. But this newer one, it's like it's unreal how real.
I hear the campaign's meant to be quite good.
That's what I'm playing at the moment, and it's just like it's so immersive. You play it in a dark room, and you are that player.
Yeah.
The graphics, the story, the you hear the people that are talking in the background. You are there. I was going through this list of games last night, and like I said, I've been playing PC games for 30 years. Yeah, since the 30 years. And so to put a modern game, a new game, into that list, I couldn't not put the top 5 together and not put it in there. It's so real. It's scary, actually.
You know, John, again, like we could talk hours about this, but seriously, just to sum it up for time purposes.
Another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's that one level in it where I won't spoil it too much, but the night vision, we were in Manchester, and I just thought, you know, after playing like Modern Warfare, I just prayed for a level like that to come out.
Yeah.
You know, and I played that, and I was literally like, it's going to sound a bit dramatic. I was on the edge of tears.
Yeah.
Like for me, like being like John.
Are you on like the SAS guy that goes in the house?
Yeah, and you're playing as the SES. This is like, you know, the SES. Exactly, like the proper, like these guys go to the pub and have a pint after they've done their mission. That kind of SES. It was proper, like, you know, it was.
It's like they slag each other off and stuff like that. And actually, you think, I've never heard things like that in a game.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah. And the psychology of going into, you know,
it's just
like.
so immersive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it makes you think, do you shoot a lady? Like, you know, the mother, but she's holding a gun. Yeah. So it's little things like that. It's a psychology.
Spoiler warning.
I had to wait for that.
Moving on.
So number 2 is a game I played, didn't like, and went back to it, and it's earned its right to be number 2, and that's Witcher 3.
Oh
wow! Yeah,
absolutely,
what a game!
Friggin' love this game. Again, I bought it when it came out. Started playing it, I hated it, and I don't know why. I think I was just in that frame of mind where it was an RPG that was too in depth for me to play, and
you weren't ready for it.
This is it. Because I'll be honest. I mean, I was an RPG player, and I left it for a while because I had games like Gears of War and whatnot, which is just straightforward story. And you just follow it along. Whereas RPGs, you make up your story, you decide it. But then I was playing stuff like Mass Effect and
good game, good series.
Other stuff like you got me into Zelda Breath of the Wild, a game I thought I would never play, and it's in the top 10, but it's not in the top 5. But Witcher 3, I went back to it, started completely all over again, and I was just blown away. I was immersed in this world where it brought me back to being a kid. Being into my fantasy stuff, whereas I can, even though you play as, you know, Geralt of Rivia, but you can choose still what to do. You can choose to still be the bad guy. You can still choose to be the good guy.
It's your choice,
And, you know, all these monsters and looking into things, potion making, oils for your sword. I just loved it. And then I remember one time where I was going to finish up with a side mission, and I did this, and, you know, so you ride on Roach. Yeah. And then this person's just like, oh, help me. Oh, it's a side mission. I'll go do that. I spent 3 hours doing that side mission. It's like, I was like, I can't leave it. I have to carry on. And it was a side mission about a woman whose husband turned into a werewolf. They took me forever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm on about, don't you?
That's a good.
Yeah. So,
the fact that you didn't go back to the last save game and
No,
and then ignore her the second time
yeah, I couldn't do it.
says a lot, doesn't it?
Exactly. I had to restart all over again, and then obviously the DLC had come out, and the DLC alone is probably the best DLC you could buy on the
Which
market
one?
today.
What's it?
There's two. There's Hearts of
Wild
Stone.
Hunt.
There's Hearts of Stone, and then there's Blood and Wine. Blood and Wine is essentially Witcher 3.2.
Yeah.
It's massive. Yeah. It's like another 100 hours to your game at least.
Wow.
And as I would, it would be a game I go back to start a game because I believe I got the bad ending in the end.
Did you enjoy the Gwent Witcher card
I love
game?
Gwent.
Yes.
See, again, Gwent was one of those things where I played first time and I thought, I can't. What's the point? I cannot be bothered. But then when I went back and played it, I was so engrossed in it, and
so much fun.
I started picking up all these cards and Witcher contracts and whatnot.
Did you not buy the game, actual game, Gwent?
No, see, basically, when it came out in 2015, the Xbox One edition, the collector's Xbox One edition, came with Gwent, and it's the only way you could get Gwent as a card game, a real life card game, was on the collector's edition. You probably get on eBay for triple the price now, whatever. But yeah, Witcher 3. Amazing characters, amazing story, amazing soundtrack, and as well, amazing DLC. Number 2.
Good choice.
Kurge.
Toss a coin to the Witcher, please.
Just toss a coin to Kurge's number 2.
My number 2 actually coincides with Big G's number 4, which is Persona 5. Wow. I don't know, I can't explain how much I love this game. Big G will agree with me as well. He's already said as much as I could.
It's too. Everyone needs to play that game.
I love anime, but you don't need to be an anime lover to actually love this JRPG. It's just so amazing. I mean, you go through the standard of leveling up and stuff, but you create these bonds with all these friends, your party members, like random characters, just to make you stronger. Yeah, it just reels you into the character, all the characters all together, and obviously you got like the backstory that's going on and whatnot. There's a twist, no, not a twist, but. Spoiler alert. Yeah, it's just, and they've released a new DLC with the whole game called Royal, and it's just like you said with Witcher, it's just a whole nother game that's just been clapped on top of it, and just so much because we played the other one like last year, and you've played this one, you've noticed so many other dialogue they actually inserted into the game. So many stuff.
It's so good, man. It's just like how you explain The Witcher. It's like another this. They've actually looked at it and they're like, okay, you know what? Let's tweak this, tweak this. It's a completely different game.
Yeah, it's a game within a game in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, the first game was perfect as it was. You wouldn't think that they could make it any better.
Yeah,
and they actually went and did that, and that's what the creators of Atlas. I have to give them hats off for that, man. They were amazing. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, so
nice, man.
Nice one.
Wow. Cool.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Okay, number 2. Again, so many parallels with me and my
It's not another PC
John
game.
Here. It's
Come on.
Can be a PC game, but it's. I originally played it on the PlayStation 3, and
all right, it doesn't count then, will it?
And it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yes.
And exactly. So when that came out, it was the first game that I had on the PlayStation 3. I originally wanted to play Motorstorm, which was again like
that's the bike racing
game. Yeah, it's like you play as ATVs and trucks and stuff like that. Really genius, niche, never been done before. But then my brother was like, "You have to get Call of Duty. Me and my friends are playing." And he's like 11 at this time, right? So for him, that was like, and I was like, "Why? What's so big about this game?" All right, to make you happy, because like we only had one controller, so you can spend Christmas Day 2 hours playing that, whatever. And then I saw him play this game, and again, the first level, which is you're the SAS again, right? And you're in the boat. The tanker and stuff.
That's
and
the opening,
which is the opening campaign.
It's the opening
and
campaign,
exactly.
The ship's sinking.
And it's sinking, exactly. And it's that thing of being in a ship and, the camera is turned, So this is like, you have your original FPSs and over time you see this evolution, but nothing like that's been done where, and in fact, the gals, they told me about this because I told them like we're getting Call of Duty and stuff. And I think, Gal, you were telling me like you're going to be in for a ride for this game. So completed the campaign first. Again, blown away. One of the standout missions for that was the when you're kind of like in the Chernobyl and you're the sniper. Oh,
one of that level still stands out to this day.
Till this day, I think. That just genius.
Amazing.
Like it's a bit where you walk through the swimming pool and it was like, just think, this was packed with kids and families and stuff, and you're playing
it's the
that
backstory and the back dialogue That's what draws you into it.
Exactly. I mean, this is 2008, so this is after the Iraq War and all the soldiers are going home and stuff. So you kind of, the siege of Baghdad, I mean, that was on BBC, so you kind of get reminded of that. It was only 5 years prior to that, so that was incredible. And then when you think you finished the campaign, Rob was like, oh, you heard about online, right? And I was like, what? There's an online.
What?
Yeah, exactly. And that was it. So, and I was at university, and every other kid would go to university and stay on the weekends. I purposefully came home so I could prestige, because
you're a gamer, mate.
Exactly.
But that was it. When I was the same.
Right?
Please tell me you sold your lunch at university.
Yeah, I kind of did.
I remember getting that game because I'd played the other ones beforehand, so I thought I knew what was coming.
Right. So you can imagine.
And that level in the ship, the opening level, frightened the life out of me.
100%.
Because, like you said, it's moving, and you're trying to get out of this ship as fast as you can.
And you can hear it
and
creaking.
you actually feel your heart racing, even though you're only playing a computer game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And did you know that there's an alien reference in that mission, that part of the game?
Oh, is there?
Aliens reference, yeah. Because is it Captain Price?
Yeah,
Captain Price.
When you're escaping, I think it's about when you're escaping. He actually says, "Stay frosty, people," which is
actually
from.
Is that where it's from?
Yeah, it's from Aliens.
Yeah.
Wow.
He still says that. Now.
He still says that.
That's actually that's reference to the movie Aliens.
Stay frosty.
That's it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So definitely Modern Warfare, and then obviously they remastered it. That came out, so that was going down like.
Is the remaster good? Because I'm not playing the remaster.
I've played it.
It's really. I mean, obviously it's the same game, but they've upped it, and
graphics are much better.
100% beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's proper 4K now.
Proper full game. Yeah.
Nice. Good
Great
choice. G? Big G?
Yeah.
Number two?
Number two.
Wait.
Another boring one. I'm gone for the Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that some of the viewers are probably going to scream at me, but there's
No, that was mentioned earlier. You mentioned, Little Jim mentioned that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X.
That was one. It was not number 10. Your top.
Number 10.
Oh wow, yeah, that was.
I think for me, like what
it's
holds,
weird you saying that because a lot of people would say 7 or 8.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to
But
say.
where
Like,
you've gone with 10 is
9. Like I didn't come around fully completing 7 until later on. I have played it, but I never completed it back then. But played it later on. Played
memory card issues.
9, I did, and I loved the story in that. 8 and 9, I loved their story. But why I put this one in, I think it just had a mixture of everything. It had the story, the graphics were unbelievable, the gameplay. Oh, it's just
What was the final boss called? Prey or something, wasn't it?
the final
Final boss on that game. I remember it being like
Isn't it that
something like that.
Ultimate. No. It's on the ship.
What's that? Flying. Oh, it's like a whale creature.
That's
right.
right, yeah.
Oh,
Sin.
Sin.
Sin, that's it. I knew something like Prey,
I
Sin,
don't
something
think
like
that's the
that.
final boss. You fight him. There's another stage.
It's a hunt, actually.
Yeah.
It's a mark. Where
No. That's the side quest, isn't it?
Yeah, side quest. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think you fight him, and there's
There's one
another
after
stage
Sin.
of him. You go inside him.
Isn't
and you
it
fight
Seymour
him.
you fight? He's basically combines with Sin.
I think so. I swear it's Tidus' dad as well.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
But anyway,
no story.
yeah, I remember before it came out. I think a year before it came out, or 6 months before it came out. I remember the graphics for that were laid out on the magazines. I still got that magazine, and I thought, oh,
Seriously?
yeah. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, I need to play this game. Look at this, look at the summons, this, that. Oh man, it was it's got to be up there as my favorite RPG.
Nice.
All right, so my one is Diablo 3. And the reason why Diablo 3 is there, I think, it was. I actually originally played that on
what
the
console?
PC. I actually played it on the PC, but then I got it. They had it remastered for the consoles.
You said you played it on the console first.
And I played. No. Was it the? No. I played on the PC first, and then it was a console. Yeah, because I remember they had this trade thing, and I used to do it on the PC. But that game, if you knew, there was a game before that which I really enjoyed. It was called Baldur's Gate back in the day.
Yeah, there's a new one coming out soon.
Exactly. Yeah. So this was the closest thing. I used to love that game so much, but Diablo was by far the closest thing you could get to that, and even better. It was so much better. So, once I think I liked it a lot more once it came out on the PS4 because they had 3-player cooperative. So me and my brothers would just sit down on the couch and just play every night when we finished work or something. Come back, play hours on it. It was just the game had a lot to offer. It just weapon. You can just keep grinding, keep getting better.
You still can, though.
Yeah, and you can still do it. They keep adding more stuff. Like Blizzard do that. They make the game so that you
It's
can
another good thing about them, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They just make it. You can just keep enjoying it, and that's another. Yeah, exactly. There's no end game, and you can just enjoy it. And they add. You would be surprised the amount of stuff they've added. I haven't gone back to it in a while, but they've added so many new stuff. You can actually and play it. It's like so that's one of my main reasons. Because I'm so big on multiplayer and playing with people, so that is why I've enjoyed it a lot.
Nice, good choice.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here. Because my first and second, I have actually changed them around. So my number 2 game is Half-Life.
Nice. Gordon Freeman.
Oh, yeah. That game. Oh, yeah. Words fail me with that game, to be honest with you. It's just such an amazing game. The story is fantastic. I do and I don't like how they left it.
The first one?
All of it.
But what is...
The first game...
Are you talking about number 2, your Half-Life 1?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Again, it immersed you in a different world to what you were kind of used to. But you kind of fell with all the characters and stuff. And then the second game came along, and then in a sense the DLCs for it, and it just built and it built. You could literally put the whole lot into one game and just say it's one game, really.
And it kind of came out at the same time as Quake and Doom and all that, so it was kind
of had a different take on it.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I found Quake and Doom quite similar.
Yes.
Obviously, the world was different, and the actual the mechanics of the game were kind of different. Unreal Tournament took it in a different way. Again, it was much faster, but Half-Life, absolutely unreal game. Loved it to bits.
Yeah, me too. Gordon Freeman's still one of the best.
Oh God, yeah.
Even though he never says a word.
No.
He's still one of the best guys with the crowbar.
And that's the funniest thing about it. There can't be many games where your character doesn't actually say much.
Well, did you know, and going back to Little G's thing, it's like Dead Space 1, Isaac Clarke never says a word. But when 2 and 3 happen, they give him a voice.
Yeah.
And I always thought they were going to do that with Gordon Freeman. If he ever came back, they were going to give him a voice.
Yeah, and your character doesn't need to have a voice.
No.
So that proved it.
Exactly. Good choice. So we're down to the final bit. So all our number 1s now.
Number 1.
Right, so my one is going to be a bit controversial because my game is actually 5 games in one.
Oh, okay.
And that's the orange box.
Oh, of course.
The orange box has to be in everyone's library, or has to play it once at least.
You could literally say that's my number 2.
Not only is it Half-Life 2, but the 2 add-ons for Half-Life, which is episode 1 and 2, with the controversial ending that you
And what were they called? Opposing Force? Blue Shift?
No, that's the add-ons for number 1. For number 1. But for Half-Life 2, it was episode 1 and 2. And then not only that, you had Team Fortress, but people still play now. It's a multiplayer that people still play to
this
this
day. It's an esports game now.
Yeah. And as well as one of the greatest puzzle games ever, and that's Portal. Portal is incredible. And all these games for just the one price.
Exactly.
And I think I got it for you for your birthday a couple of years ago, and you only played it recently as well.
I've recently just played Halo 2. I think about not long ago, a year ago.
Half-Life 2.
Half-Life 2, sorry. I've got to say, that's...
You loved it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It held up so well. It's like it hasn't been outdated.
You get what we were on about.
Yeah, it is amazing. The gameplay mechanics mad in that.
Yeah. So no doubt about it. Orange box, number 1, all the way.
Considering that's a late 90s game.
It
wiped the floor with a lot of modern games, to be honest with you.
Kurj, number 1. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is a Square Enix game. Gal's mentioned one of the titles in it.
Square Enix, good company.
Final Fantasy 8.
Nice! I love 8. 8 is like the best. Everyone says 7, but I love 8.
Yeah, I preferred 8 over 7. I just didn't like the actual setting of number 7 for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons I liked it is just because it stuck to it was the original turn-based RPG as number 10 was. I love number 10 as well. But 8 it had everything.
How long is that boss battle at the end though?
Oh my god, innit? It takes forever.
See, I know 7's been remade recently, but I would love Final Fantasy 8 to get redone. They have to. They have to do it. Number 8 is it's always been one of my favourites.
Just they had everything, man. Just
the fact that school just moves.
Like, what? Yeah, I mean, I think I've said enough. Go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. Kedge, go, cool, sorry.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, for me, again, it was a tough call, but I think the one, when I think about what game really just like, did it for me in perfection everywhere, and still is today. I don't know what you guys think about, but for me, Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, it was tough because Grand Theft Auto, for me...
Right, that's it, kick him out.
It's like, for me, GTA 3, when I played that originally at your house, Gal, it was like, oh my God, okay. And then with 5, I think what really the story again was amazing. I think me and a lot of my friends were waiting for that to come out. I literally waited for the postman on that day to come to the door and deliver it. And from that moment, I put it in, waited 2 hours to install it. So the campaign was amazing. But I think what really did it for me was the online, which is something I'm still playing now. And, again, we're going to like creating and customizing, picking up on from the days of WWF Warzone, where you can customize your character.
Oh my God, I remember that. That's one of the reasons why I bought that game.
Yeah, because exactly. And how, to do that was amazing. In this one, the weird thing was my character, and when you get this Facebook group up and running, I'm going to post pictures of my character on that.
Do it.
And it's scary because you guys see me now. And I'll do a picture of my character and myself. Yeah. And then, funny enough, I had a car in that game. And I happened to lease a VW Sirocco at that time, and it's almost exactly the same car. So I was living my life, in that game. And the DLCs, the heist missions, you're playing with people online.
Please tell me you was a pharmacist in that one as well.
Okay, I kind of.
How many points on your license?
The Rockstar editor thing that came with it, I used to create little movies, and one of them was called The Lonely Locum, who's basically like me as a pharmacist, and I'll come out of the pharmacy and I'd go on a rampage because customers.
That's what pharmacists do normally, don't they?
In their head. Yeah, so little things like that, but just the online, being able to get some money and put it into your bank account and buy cars and go on the website, again, that thing with realism, it's just
you couldn't do that before.
So. Couldn't do that before, and just pulling out a phone, little things like that.
It is an amazing game.
Yeah, it's
I'm a massive fan of Vice City. Vice City's always been my favourite.
That was so close, and to being in the top 5 actually. It was one of those things I had to sift out because the whole
it's just the living through 80s as well.
Exactly, because I didn't know.
That's amazing.
Oh, the soundtrack,
the soundtrack is still one of the best video game soundtracks ever,
without a doubt. Yeah, because you're playing that, and I didn't know much about the 80s. I learned about the 80s through that. That was an education for me, and then watching Scarface after, and then listening to all these songs.
And you're comparing the hang about.
Yeah, hold on.
Tommy he really is Tony Montana.
Tony Montana, and that last level is spoiler alert, but basically the last bit of Scarface. So that was
nice, good choice. Big G.
Mine.
Let's find out.
I just want to.
I think we all know what this is going to be. Why are you looking at your phone? You know what it is.
Before I do it, I just wanted to on a quick honourable mentions.
No, not allowed. No, go on.
Just a quick one.
Here you go.
I wanted to say Ridge Racer. Should have made
Which one?
The second one.
First one's on PS1.
First one.
Yeah.
First one. Smash Bros. Melee, Alien Isolation, Witcher 3, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 3, Tenkaichi. That's on a quick mention. Okay.
And then number one.
My number one is Metal Gear Solid, first one on the PlayStation 1.
Well, no shit.
I never saw that coming.
It is my game. Even my ID on both my consoles are Grey Fox. That is my game. Whenever when I think about gaming, I think of Metal Gear. I think it's just the action, the story is genius. I remember playing it first time. I was like, it's so advanced, the story. I didn't understand it. I had to play a couple of times as I got older, and I was like, oh my God, this is genius. Okay. And I remember playing it, and by the time 3 came out, I was like, genius. Not genius at the game. I understood how everything worked together and the story he put. And not only that, I think it's the first sort of game that kind of introduced me to a choice in a game. Whether you obviously you're getting tortured, and if you survive it, you save one or the other character. Yeah. And I thought that was ingenious. I thought it was so good. And I could talk all day about it. But that's my number one.
We can always another episode if you want to come back.
MG Smith. Oh, mate, bring that on.
It's based on Metal Gear. Full
Yes.
stop.
Yeah. I could do that.
Yeah. 2 hours of Big G, just his love for Metal Gear. Little G, number one. What's your number one, Little G?
My one, I think Gal said as his number 2 is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Really?
Yes,
that was my number 4.
I spent my whole summer. Yeah,
it's weird how you two mentioned that because I remember when that game came out and everyone hated it because of the animation, the art design, of everything.
I completely opposite. I loved the animation.
No,
I
it's good,
loved
yeah.
the drawing. I loved that. It wasn't even that. I think you forgot to mention the one part of that game. I think it's about you have your own ship and you sail around to island, navigating yourself around. And in this huge, it's huge at the time, but they had stuff you can pick up like treasure maps, and it was amazing. And I thought at that time I love stuff like that. Like right now, there's a game called Sea of Thieves. Similar aspect, but back then I loved like sailing ship and navigating yourself around. So that's what really enjoyed it. But the story was amazing, and if you've seen Zelda games, they're just top quality. So that was my favorite.
And I think another thing about that game was you had the ability to actually connect your Game Boy Advance to it and actually help search for the map, use it as a map kind of thing.
We did.
I never knew that.
I think the character's called Tingle.
Tingle.
Tingle, and
you could hook it to the GameCube.
Yeah, and connect up your game. I think you got the link cable, and it actually goes into the game.
You did that, and then it would help with the treasure map. So we utilized it so well because we were playing together, and he was showing me, oh shit, there's a little treasure here, and you go and find it. It was amazing. Yeah, they had
so
a lot.
much.
See, that reminds me. Do you remember when Sonic and Knuckles came out? And you used to flip the top of the cartridge. You could put a different Sonic game in, and you could play as Knuckles on the other games.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's ingenious. It's a good pick.
But that was my top number one. I'll let John go.
And then down to the last bit, John.
There we go.
Drum roll, please.
Right. My number one. Small little bit of background.
Go for it.
I grew up in Ireland, very Catholic country. You know. Very, God against the devil, blah, blah, blah. So...
Except one.
So going back to when I first got into PC games and stuff, I had a good job, a bit of money, built my own PC, started getting into games slowly, blah, blah, blah. And then Blizzard come out with a game called Diablo. Diablo is
the first ever
one. The very first one, but all of them, really. To me, it's just one game. Absolutely amazing. Cannot, again, like Half-Life, cannot fault that game at all.
You still play it today?
I've played the first one and the second one and the third one. I've played all the DLCs. The first 2 games and the DLCs I've played 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
The third one with its DLCs, I must have at least 10 characters on that, and every at least once, twice a month now, I go back and I just pick up a different character.
What, the first one?
No, the third one.
Oh, right, okay.
No,
because some people still play it, even now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the second one is being remastered and is coming out soon, and I can't wait for it, even though, like I say, I've played it already.
Screw it, I'm going back.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to play a remastered version. You've got to play it.
Well, I remember when
that's going to be another episode, by the way. We're going to talk about remasters and remakes.
Yeah.
There was a Game Network channel called Game Network, and they used to show.
I remember that
Diablo 1 or 2, like people, and I was like, "What is this game? What is it?" Like, I've never played Diablo 1 or 2.
You've never tried them?
No, but I've got into Diablo 3.
We've done number 3, but number 1, number 2. No.
See, one and 2 slightly different though, because the graphics in the third game took a huge leap. They are similar to graphics that we have like today. Whereas the first 2, your character was
very pixelated.
Yeah,
I remember.
But that's why I'm interested.
Yeah,
that's why I'm interested to see the remastered version, because it's like they've just recently done a remaster of Command and Conquer, and it looks it looks slightly better. So I'm expecting Diablo 2 to look better. It should look better, but it'll play the same, which is good.
It'll just be the same thing, but up to date graphics, really, isn't it? Yeah. There's no point changing the gameplay because you play it for that specific type of game.
It'd be interesting if that there's rumour that they're going to add a DLC that's not been played. And in a
That'd
sense,
be interesting.
Yeah, so I'd be quite.
But then again, that's the point of getting people back onto it.
Yeah.
Something fresh.
Right.
Is that it?
That's it.
Well, that's it, guys. You've done it.
Oh, wow. That was so fun.
So I just want to say thanks for coming onto the show. Thanks for your top 5s and for letting us know about your dealings with video games.
Yes,
I hope you guys come back for more episodes about video games and stuff.
I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, I think we will. Even though we were only meant to go an hour, we've gone 2 hours and 7. But it's been quite entertaining. I hope everyone's enjoyed listening as well, guys.
Yes.
So this is the M.T.V.B podcast. This is Ant-Man, and we are all signing off.
Bye.
Bye. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
See ya.